And we welcome you to another edition of This is Wrestling, but it's on This is OSN. We're live. It's Sleeper Sage. It is Zach McGibbon. It's Saturday afternoon at 1:23 in the afternoon. Zach, are you recovered from last night's This is Overtime Red Blacks post-game show where the Red Blacks fell to 0-8? Went deep into the night last night to almost 1:30 in the morning. How you feeling today?
You know what? I'm actually doing pretty all right for today. Not too bad. I think it helps with those games when they go deeper into the night that it is a weekend. Don't have to worry about, coming in the next day for work this time around. So you know what? I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right for a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, it took me a little bit to get to sleep. I had another coffee. You could tell I was fired up last night. I was fired up.
Yeah, as we were discussing, like, man, Lee's really engaged here. I'm trying to keep up. Sometimes, when somebody's like super energetic and you're like, I'm trying my best to keep up. So it was something, but it was a fun. The game itself, if you're a Red Blacks fan, it's not fun to have to endure an 0-8 start to the season. But in terms of the actual post-game show last night, thought it was fun and had a great time, reading chat. And I think we had a good crowd out as well last night as well. So
yeah, we did. And so today it's going to be one of those hybrid days. It's the weekend. It's Saturday afternoon. Is this a wrestling show? Yeah, a little bit with AEW Dynamite. Maybe even a little bit from SmackDown last night with Kevin Owens and CM Punk. I thought that was really interesting. But are we going to talk some football? Yes. Are we going to talk some music? Yes. There's a lot of stories to kind of recap the week, where we're going, what's going to happen. So I'm looking forward to this. Before we get into wrestling, a little bit about the week that was, Zach. And Zach, not all of us had the opportunity to see Axl Rose / Guns N' Roses in Toronto, Public Enemy performing. How did you end up going to this concert?
It's a question that I also asked myself when I got the tickets. This was something that kind of came together pretty quickly. So literally it was just came into work the other day and you get the email out to everybody. Hey, we got a pair of Guns N' Roses tickets to Toronto for next Wednesday. This was the week before. And apparently what happened was, so they had given away the tickets on our rock station that I'm part of. And the winners weren't able to go to the concert as it turned out. So they gave back the tickets to the station, said, here, just give it to somebody in the station or whatever, and they can have a fun time at Guns N' Roses because we're not going to be able to go. So all of a sudden you get an email that pops in that says, hey, 2 free Guns N' Roses tickets are available. Put your name in and we're going to do a draw, and whoever wins the draw is going to go to the Guns N' Roses concert in Toronto.
How many people were in this draw?
I thought there would be a lot of people in this draw, Lee, but shockingly, there was 3 people, including myself, in this draw. Stunned.
People just don't want to stop what they're doing and go see Guns N' Roses on a Wednesday night in Toronto if you live in Belleville. Too much, too soon.
I guess. I was very surprised about that. So I was like, well, I guess I got a chance here. I was more just kind of putting my name in to try and be like, throwing my name into the hat, see what happens.
Sounds like Steiner math.
You get a 33 and a third chance of winning. But I'm a genetic freak, Lee, and I'm not normal. So the others had a 25% at best at beating me.
Obviously.
then you had my boss was one of the people that was in there. So then you had my boss in the mix. Chances of winning drastic go down. All right, hand raised.
So let me get this straight.
Yes.
Your boss was in the draw.
Yes.
Who's your boss, Zach?
My boss is, in this case, was the news director of Quinny Broadcasting.
So would the news director feel good of Quinny Broadcasting about winning this draw and then beating out one of his hardworking employees? So they weren't in the draw, were they? Like for real?
All I know is that the name was there, and I won. That's all I. That's all I know.
Don't ask how, just ask if. So what?
Yeah.
Go train down, and you went. It was at the Rogers Arena, Downsview, correct?
Yes, the Rogers Stadium at Downsview. Yes.
Sorry, whatever.
It's outdoor stadium.
There's you know what? I'm not saying the name anymore. There's a million stadiums named that.
I know, with
really
the Rogers naming as well. So.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't really care. The one at Downsview.
Yes.
Okay. I haven't been. You hear all kinds of, in the world we live in, you hear all kinds of crap about the travel to get there. And then wouldn't you know it, Zach, in the last 2 or 3 months, I'm seeing all these different Instagram reels and posts about how easy it is to get to Downsview. And it's just so nice to be able to come down and it's like, okay, cool. They paid a bunch of influencers to try and change the narrative about going there. So what is the real story about going to Downsview on a Wednesday night to see GNR?
A little rough. It's a little bit rough.
Okay.
So for us, so I went with a buddy of mine, and we went to the Oshawa GO station. That was pretty clean, just getting into Union, no problem there. Then we had to take the train to Downsview.
The subway.
And well, there is a GO train that takes you to Downsview.
Oh, is there? Okay.
Yeah, there is. So it wasn't necessarily the GO train element itself. It was more once you arrive at the station at the GO train station at Downsview, because you're not actually right at the stadium there, Lee. There's still quite a walk to go before you even enter into the stadium. So it took the GO train from Oshawa to Union, and then from Union to Downsview, and it was a pretty lengthy walk. I want to say maybe like 15 to 20-minute walk over to the stadium.
Okay.
So it was pretty lengthy. There was a little bit of a incline as well to get there. There was a lot of people with us. Like that was a packed GO train. A lot of Guns N' Roses fans making their way to the building, but it was a bit of a walk. It was all outdoors, and so getting there was a little bit lengthy. The stadium itself, as I told some other people, because were 3 main questions, and we'll get to all of them here about it. But one of them was, how is the stadium? Because it's still kind of brand new. And out of all the venues I've been to, Lever Stage, it's certainly one of them. It's not, didn't blow me away. There was the way, so I was set up on the left side of the stadium. And
yeah, like, by the way, I know it's where you work. I was going to say, could you not have got better tickets to give away? Like, where the hell were these seats? Like, far away, it looked like.
Yeah, we were the left side, and it didn't show in the photos that I shared, but it was right over top of the entryway to get to the seats. So there was also like a railing in front of us as well. So it was so those were the tickets we got. It was free. I'm not going to complain. I'm like, I don't know what this is going to look like, but I'm here. And so I'm going to be diplomatic employee and say that this is how it went. But in terms of stadium layout itself, if I was somebody that did get tickets and bought it and went there,
you work in radio, so you don't pay for anything. But
exactly.
Yeah, but if you did,
if I did, I'm thinking about, like, when we talk about pro wrestling, the casual fan. How would the casual fan kind of look at this? You have your main stage.
The marks that pay for their tickets. Yeah. For sure.
I didn't say that. Lee said that.
The plebeians that just not quite up to your level to get free tickets. But yeah, okay, go ahead.
So there's 4 screens that you could see. And then there's another screen. I didn't even realize this. That's behind on the stage, but you couldn't see this. You could barely see it. Thinking back to it now, this screen that's behind the performers. And I only realized that they were putting stuff up because I was scrolling through Instagram, and it's amazing how it just listens to us now, right? Because
Yeah.
all of a sudden I'm getting reels from people that were there, and I'm being reminded of all the performances there. And I'm like, oh, they had all this stuff behind the screen that they put up. And so I'll now open the floor to the media. Lever Stage OSN.
Thank you. Just so people know, on social media, when you say it's amazing how it listens to us, you can turn that off. Just so you know. But Rich, who's with us today, says, got to watch Grand Slam Mexico. I heard it was amazing. We are going to review that because it was bleeping amazing.
Oh my goodness.
Like,
what a show.
It was unbelievable. So we're going to get to that, Rich. Again, hybrid show here. Some music, some sports, some wrestling. But Rich says it's a stream duck, which is like your stream, and it's just feeding into it all the time. Zach, turn it off. There's one button. You can turn it off.
They have it. It's very smart of these companies. They always have it deep in the settings. I know it's one button, but you also have to go through 3 different pages to find that one button
to get there, for sure.
Yeah. They don't make it easy, like entering into the stadium. But the stadium itself, again, it was open air, outdoors. Again, it was one of the venues I've been to of all time. It was not something that blew me away. It was they had a lot of different food selections there and the different stations, but in terms of the overall experience, and I'll tell you my story of how I left later, because I will talk about the actual concert itself, because that in itself was a trek worse than getting to the stadium. But in terms of like getting to the stadium and the stadium environment itself, it was all right. It wasn't great.
Okay, so I mean, you laid out your own story. Well, there were 3 main questions. Like, I didn't know there were 3 questions, but okay. I guess there's 3 questions about the Rogers Downsview Arena and your experience at Guns N' Roses and Public Enemy.
Yep.
So what are the other questions that you've laid out for yourself to answer, which is an incredible job by you as a host, laying out your own questions so you don't have to talk to me. Incredible.
Is what we do, Lee. So the other question that I had received a lot of was, how is Axl Rose's voice? Because if you had gone on to some of the Instagram reels, if you're really deep into the scene, Axl Rose's voice, you hear some of the clips that have come out. It's not Axl Rose of 1987, that's for sure. I've been seeing comparisons to Mickey Mouse in terms of the vocal stylings of Axl Rose in 2026, which is not a great comp to have because he's very high pitched now when he sings. I will say this live, I was kind of expecting some of that, and there were definitely moments during the concert where he had more of the high pitch. I was like, oh, this is kind of rough for him to get through this song. But overall, I thought he was all right. I actually thought he was pretty all right.
Like, yeah, dude's 64 years old.
Yep.
So,
and that style of singing that he did, I mean, is already putting enough strain on his voice as it is. So that's probably why he has to adapt it. Like, I totally get it. But at the same time, you know, concert tickets aren't exactly cheap nowadays. And you want to try and get, you know, everything that you can from a live concert experience.
Yeah, but most of the people who are going, and I appreciate that you went, most of the people that are going, it's a nostalgic thing, right? Like to see, like Guns N' Roses were so big for so long in the 80s and the 90s that you would go just to like relive your youth. For me, I would not be expecting them to be the same. And I would know that because I would be a person, Zach, that would have to pay for a ticket. So I would have to come to that realization that for me, yeah, it's going to be whatever it is, 100, 150, $200. But is it going to be worth it to relive some of my nostalgia? Not to think that Axl Rose at 64 years old and living the life that he has is going to be what he was at 30.
Right.
So as a guy, again, who would have to pay for my tickets, unlike you, I would have to decide that beforehand, whether that was worth it. I guess not for you, though.
Look what are you trying to do? What are you trying to
not.
paint me as here?
I'm just telling you, you're a not 30 years old. You're
Yeah.
getting free tickets,
Yeah.
and now all of a sudden the Judgment Day has come down on Axel and Slash.
Well, no, I'm just answering the questions I feel like people were asking me. So that was a big one. That was the one I got a lot of. How is Axel's voice? I got a lot of that. And again, I knew about it kind of coming in, but again, like I thought he was all right. It was good.
You got the and again, but and again,
and again,
because
try to reinforce it here, you know.
The elite wrestling guy,
and
again. See, I like that. Rich is also in. First of all, I went to see our favorite DJ a few months ago, Martin Garrix in Toronto. I thought it was going to be at that stadium. Was super anxious about it, but it turned out it was at the RBC Amphitheater, which is absolutely amazing venue. I can't wait to go back to that venue, which I don't disagree with.
Yeah, I've heard good things.
And then Rich says, my father-in-law and my wife's first dance at our wedding was Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
So now I have questions. Okay. What's their slowest song, Zach? Like the most famous slow song that they have?
That would probably be November Rain there, Mr. Versage.
Oh, see?
Or
you've outdone me again. I thought it was going to be Patience. So that was
Patience
the first
is
one.
another one, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm like, why are you dancing to Patience? Like something like you're going to have a lot of patience with this guy. So like father-in-law and the wife's first dance and the father-in-law is going, yeah, you're going to have to have a lot of patience with this guy. I'm like, is that the right song? But was it November Rain? That makes, and of course, Sweet Child of Mine.
That's right. There you go. Sweet Child of Mine.
Seemed like one of those slow, Sweet Child of Mine, but the song and the words, okay.
Yeah, I get it. So yeah, it was no, I had all that said, Lee, I had a great time. I had a real fun time.
Okay. Public Enemy?
Public Enemy, I really enjoyed. I am a rap guy. So I was like, I was surprised, was like, okay, well, who's the opener of this concert? Oh, it's Public Enemy at the Guns N' Roses concert. That's not who I would have had in mind to be opening the show. But I wasn't complaining about it. And yeah, it was Chuck D and Flava Flav did a great job opening the show. I know it's the opener, so you know not everybody's coming in to see Public Enemy, but I thought they did a really good job. Flava Flav just was hilarious. He's just without swearing too much, he was like, I want to hear you mother bleepers, you know, get up loud, and we're in Toronto, and all the transitions to the song. And
we're in Toronto, and
that's where we live. That's where we live. He took his shirt off, and he's like, I got this sweaty mother bleeping shirt, and I'm gonna throw it in this mother bleeping crowd. And he was fired up. I was like, oh my god.
Well, 67 and 66 years old.
Yes.
Flavor Flav and Chuck D. Like, oh my god.
They got the crowd that was there for the opener, including myself, pretty hyped up. I enjoyed it. There was a lot of not to get too political, but there was a lot of anti-Donald Trump stuff in their set as well. And so that got them fired up. And
I'm just trying to picture you again. You're 28.
Yep.
Loving 67-year-old rappers, like really enjoying their show.
Yeah.
That's wild to me.
They were great. Now, a buddy of mine who's the same age as me was not familiar with Public Enemy, and he liked them, but he's like, man, they do dance like they're from the late 80s to the early 90s, the way that they were like, you know, so there was a little bit of that. But yeah, no, I was, you know, singing along to Fight the Power and all that. So it was good. The opener was good. And then Guns N' Roses themselves, it was a long set. It went from 8:15 to 11 o'clock. And they got a lot of songs in the catalog through and some covers. You're not going to believe this, Lee, but they did open with Welcome to the Jungle as their opening song. So
does make a little sense.
I totally get it. So, yeah, they did open with Welcome to the Jungle. They had an interesting collection of songs, like all the ones you would expect them to hear, but they had some covers I wasn't expecting. Like, I don't know how much of a Velvet Revolver guy you are, but
what wasn't one of them in it?
yeah, for a time, but like they covered Slither, and I was like, oh, okay. I wasn't expecting them to play Slither here, and then
Yeah, Slash was in.
yeah, Slash was in Velvet Revolver.
Well,
That's right.
Okay, you can't say wasn't expecting, and Duff too.
Yep.
They were both in Velvet Revolver.
And
but,
they they did that.
Hold on a second. You were surprised that they played a song from a band that two of the members from Guns N' Roses were in. You're like, oh my God, they're doing a Velvet Revolver song. Two of the guys were in it. What do you mean you're surprised?
I just wasn't expecting it. That's all.
Why not?
Well, look, did I expect, to blow the lead here, did I expect Chris Stapleton to come on and play guitar on Knocking on Heaven's Door? I did not expect that.
He's not in the band. Yes, like when I found out, I'm surprised they played a Velvet Revolver song. I'm like, two of the guys and the main guys, Duff and Slash, are in Velvet Revolver. Oh my God.
I don't know. I just they had that as a cover. They also played Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, which I believe they played during Ozzy's final concert, when all the bands came over for that show. I believe that was the song they had played over there. They played it here as well. This was one of the times I noticed, Axl's voice is a little rough here, because especially when they were getting into the main, verse. But that was cool to kind of get an Ozzy tribute. And
so
yeah,
did they play? I'm trying to think of my favorite Guns N' Roses songs of all time. For me, it would be like Civil War is right at the top.
Yep, they did play that.
Did they play Estranged?
Yes, they did.
That's a long song.
It was yes, they did play Estranged.
Oh, I love Estranged.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they play all their kind of big hits.
Mm-hmm.
They
had a new song that they played that I had no idea about, so okay. I was just kind of listening along, and hearing it. It's another one of their slower songs. That was one of their newer hits or newer songs that they played. But yeah, they went through a lot of the discography.
Did they play Patience?
Yes, they did play Patience.
Okay.
There was and to answer the third question that I had set up in my well laid out setup for this Guns N' Roses review.
23 minutes in, yeah.
Yep. Well, we're trying to guide the conversation here. Slash, incredible. Slash was awesome. Oh, I mean, shockingly, Lee, one of the greatest guitarists of all time was awesome to hear live. He still can very much play the guitar. You'd be shocked to hear that. No, he had some extended guitar solos that he was just really I forget which song, but there was one they were doing the outro, and then Slash was like, you know what? I'm just gonna play Voodoo Child during the outro. And so I'm like, are we transitioning into a Jimi Hendrix song here? And then he's like, no, he just played the opening chords to Voodoo Child and went right back into the guitar solo to end off the song. It was unreal. It was like, okay, this is awesome. This is great. There was an extended one that literally went like 8 minutes, and he's just like really hanging on to it at the end. And Lee, there's not a lot of stuff that makes me get out of my seat anymore, but the final minute stretch from Slash, just like shredding away, I got up out of my seat, like, yeah, like fist pumping, like, here we go. This is what I'm talking about. This is why I'm here, man. Like, this is great. Yeah, it was a good time. Had a real fun time. And you're not going to believe this either, but the person beside me was not familiar with Guns N' Roses.
Oh no.
Which shocked me. He was like, I heard about him. I'm like, you haven't heard Welcome to the Jungle? Like, that's a song that's everywhere. It's like, he's like, maybe I have, but like, it's not in the rotation or whatnot. I was stunned, Lee.
How old is this person?
Same age as me.
Never heard Welcome to the Jungle.
Nope.
Never heard Sweet Child of Mine.
Nope. Paradise City.
Okay.
Wow. It was, but I will say though, he came away a fan because he looked at me, he was like, dude, that was incredible. Like, he just looked at me like, whoa.
You think?
Yes. He was blown away. He was blown away. I'm like, yeah, there's a very well-known rock band, to say the least, you know, doing world tours. And like, you look around the building, it's a 50,000 seat venue at the building. And it wasn't full, but it was like 45 to 48,000. You know what I mean? Okay. Like, it was pretty full. So yeah, no, it was great. A lot of different songs, as mentioned earlier. Chris Stapleton came on as well, and it was just so casual how they introduced him too. It was hilarious.
This one pisses me off. Like, I'm gonna say that.
Yeah,
Chris Stapleton is one of my favorite guys ever. Like, I love GNR. I loved him as a kid. I think I've told you my story before. I don't want to repeat myself, but like, of how I came to have the albums. Have I told you that story?
I don't think so.
No? Well, if I have, if you can't remember, then maybe the listeners don't remember.
Right.
I'll try and do this quickly. I loved Guns N' Roses, and so did everybody. So we're in high school, and Use Your Illusion 1 and 2 are just coming out. At that time, you had to go to the mall. You had to go to Sam the Record Man or Music World in the mall to get the cassette.
But before you continue on, you said Sam the Record Man.
Yeah.
Belleville still has the last Sam the Record Man in all of Canada.
Come on.
Yes. It's in the Quincy Mall, Lee. You should come on down.
I've been in the Quincy Mall.
Yeah.
Wow, it's the last one?
It's the last one in all of Canada. There was a story I remember because the owner sold, and there was talk of it being sold and being shut down, but the new owners are keeping the Sam the Record Man insignia and all that. So yeah, it's the last one in all of Canada, as far as we know, unless there's some sort of remote location, as far like, you know how there's like the one last Blockbuster in Alaska or something like that. Like, I unless there's something like that, but I'm pretty confident we have the only Sam the Record Man in all of Canada. But anyways, just when you said that, I'm like, oh, I should probably get this.
Yeah, absolutely. So it was right at the beginning of school, and you can imagine like a 16-year-old Versage high school, 1991. The Use Your Illusion albums are coming out. It's September, like the first couple of weeks of school. Everyone is going to skip school to try to get to the mall to get these albums. So a bunch of us do. I didn't care. Like, I'm going to get in trouble, but whatever.
Right.
Well, we go to the mall, sold out. Now we've skipped school and we don't have the albums.
Oh.
So not exactly a win. But what happened the next day? Teachers very, very worried that we're going to do this again until we get the albums. So a bunch of teachers get together and they're like, who's got first period spares? Go to the mall. Buy as many albums as you can.
Oh boy.
I bought Use Your Illusion 1 and 2 off Miss Kerhulis, my biology teacher in grade 10.
Incredible.
Because I don't care whether they made a profit. They probably did. Good for them. They deserve it. They went to the mall. They bought as many albums, and then they had to probably pick and choose between the students who they were going to sell them to because they were going to run out too. Right. But I got mine. And Use Your Illusion 1 and 2. I remember getting them and going home and just listening to the cassettes over and over again, because where did I buy them? Off my grade 10 biology teacher.
That's awesome.
Right?
That's
Like,
so good.
never happened today because the teachers wouldn't be allowed to, and then they'd be making profits, and the stories would get out.
Right.
Like, just
Yeah, and then people like me in the news be like, what are you doing? Why are you selling this to the
teachers make
kids?
extra money profits off poor kids.
Right.
And all they did was want my albums.
Just wanted Illusion 1 and 2.
That's right. So,
but you were mad about Chris Stapleton showing up.
because Chris Stapleton is one of my absolute favorites of all time.
Yeah.
Went to see him in Ottawa. They canceled their show. Got to see him when he came back the following year. It was amazing, but I've only seen him once. One of my absolute favorites. If I hadn't seen Chris Stapleton yet, it would be like maybe number one on my list. Like, that's how much I like Chris Stapleton. But I loved GNR.
Yeah.
What? Chris Stapleton came out with Guns N' Roses and Zach was there? Are you bleeping kidding me?
Rage boiling in Mr. Verstage.
Yeah, I was not happy seeing that. And then, which I think is super cool. The best part to me is that the next night, not realizing that Chris Stapleton, was playing in Toronto the next night at the same.
I didn't know that either. So when Chris Stapleton showed up, I was like, "What? He's here?" And I was like, "That's when they," because it was funny. It was just so casual. It's like Axel was just like, I got a buddy of mine here that's gonna hop on this song. You might know him. His name's Chris Stapleton." And there was a big pop from the crowd. It's like, and my buddy beside me knows who Chris Stapleton is. Like, Chris Stapleton is playing. Like, whoa, this is so cool.
Well, of course, he lives in Belleville, right? Your buddy?
Kingston.
Yeah. Well, I mean, basically the country nowhere. Everyone knows Chris Stapleton.
Yes.
Anyway, yeah, that's awesome because then GNR came out. I don't know how many, like at least Slash did for sure, for Stapleton's concert the next night.
Yep. Yeah, I saw those clips. That was cool that they were able to do that. It was funny though, during the middle of the performance, Axel went over to Stapleton to say something in the middle of the performance. So I don't know if it was just like, this is what we're going to do and get this part, but Stapleton did a great job. I'm a fan of Chris Stapleton as well. And of course, for me, like my first exposure to Chris Stapleton was actually the Super Bowl when he did the national anthem. And I was like, wow, this guy just absolutely, like, it's still one of my favorite performances of the anthem when he played it. And I was like, wow, I gotta listen to this guy. And I've enjoyed Stapleton ever since then.
I picked up on Stapleton fairly early, and I went down to Florida. My uncle is like very, very heavily into music.
Yeah.
But when someone's that heavily into music, like I'm into music, like a lot of people, but I'm not to his level. Mm-hmm. And I go down and you're like, you got to listen to this guy. Like, he's going to be your favorite guy if you just take a listen to him. And of course, you think you know music. Why would I ever listen to like somebody that you say, because you're going to tell me he's good. I'm going to listen to it. I'm going to hate him.
Right.
So like, I'm down there and you won't listen to him. I'm like, okay, but just keep it in the back of your mind. Like 2 weeks later, calls me. He's like, yeah, this guy's awesome.
Yeah. Yes. Like, I'm in.
Yeah. It took me a bit, but
yeah.
Okay. So out of 10, this concert is a what?
I would say like a 7.58. It was fun. I had a good time.
Okay.
I had a really good time.
Leaving
was a nightmare. It was.
Excellent.
It's a work in progress in terms of leaving, because now I will say I think some of this is partially our fault as well, which you will appreciate. But
big man to admit that some of this might be your fault. Feels like most of it now is going to be your fault.
Well, as I try to explain it. So we're leaving, and so we left a little bit. The final song was Paradise City. So left a little bit before that because it's like, got to make sure we get back on the train and so that we could get there, because we got to get to the Oshawa station. And so we went and we were going to the gates, and we were initially going to go back to the gate we came, because that's where the GO train was. But we were looking across and it looked like it was all blocked off. So I was like, oh, okay, I guess that's not where we're supposed to go to get to this station. But I guess as I look back on the situation, it had opened up a different gate further away. So we went down the closest gate. We went to the other side of the back of the where you exit. And so we just started walking. It's already a lengthy walk. And then we see this path coming across. I'm like, oh, okay, this is where you cut across. Like, this part is where the drop-off zone is, and this part is where you go to the GO train. Okay, that makes sense. I wouldn't have had it all funneled in one area. I feel like that could be disastrous, but that's what I was thinking. So we start coming across. We notice, hey, there's a lot of people going one way and very few going the other way to this GO train area. And 2 security guards stop us as we're coming across. And they said, no, like, you're not allowed to come down this part of, like, this part of the exit, because it's considered re-entry, is what they said. And I'm like, but we're leaving. Like, we just need to go to the GO train station right over there. Like, that's all we need to do, get back on the track here. And they said, no, this is, you can't go through here. This is a one way. You have to go. And I'm like, okay, so how do I get back to the GO train area? Like, because that's where we need to go. He said, Lee, it was the worst option. It was, you have to do the whole loop around, past the drop off, to the road, sidewalk, get to the other side of the GO train station, which is already people going out the other way. So it's like we're going back into the sea of people that are trying to leave. And then that's how you could get onto the train that takes it back to Union Station. And I was like, you have got to be kidding me. This is brutal.
So there's 2 things here. Number one, I'm very surprised so far that we haven't heard. But do you know who I am?
I'm not that sort of guy.
The security guard.
I work at Quinny Broadcasting, damn it.
That's right.
Pound the desk. I got free tickets to this.
And number 2, more to your point, I feel like this stadium has been in the news for the wrong reasons, for how long the walk is, how long it takes people to get there from the station, all of this stuff. We've heard this before. If it were me, and it wasn't, Zach, because I paid for my tickets, so I...
Man of the people over there is like, I pay for my tickets, and I'm speaking for the people here. All right.
States only in name. With all of the hoopla around the stadium, Zach, I might have endeavored to figure out how I was going to leave before I actually had to leave. I might have done that. Just to like, hey, you know what? It's already going to be a long walk. Let's just make sure we know where we're going when we leave, which, by the way, you've taken away the crux of the story now, too. We left before Paradise City was over. Yeah. Why the hell are you going to see Guns N' Roses if you're not going to stay for Paradise City? Come on.
Look, clock's a ticking, Lee. It's getting close to 11. I thought it would be a little shorter set, but I was like, clock's a ticking. We got to get to the train. It didn't work out either way.
Right.
Anyways, so, but that's more because we thought we had to go one path. Like, again, I did have the strategy of just go back to where you came, because I feel like that's where everybody's being guided through. There's a whole pathway that's set up for this.
Yeah, you're telling people that you thought you knew.
Yes.
And never checked into it and didn't know. That's the moral of the story.
So,
right? Yes.
So that's where I feel like this is me coming in and saying, I feel like maybe I'm partially responsible in some ways.
Well, take out the words maybe and partially. That's how everyone else is leaving. Why aren't you leaving that way?
I'm just saying. Yeah. I'm just saying. I thought that was a way to go. It didn't. And we looked across like, okay, we'll go down this path.
So what time did you get home?
I got back at 3 a.m.
3 a.m.
Yep, bang on. So yeah, we got there. We got to the final train that was leaving the GO station, to Union Station. And then I was telling my buddy, it's like, as soon as we get there, we're going to head down to the concourse and we're going to look at where the platform is for the Oshawa train. And we're just going to immediately get onto that platform and then just go in. Right. And in the back of my head, I'm like, maybe it'll go a little bit longer. Like they'll wait a little bit because they know there's a big concert. But I had read stories in the past of like, trains leaving while people were still leaving from Jays games and all this stuff. So I didn't want to take any chances. But my buddy is not the most experienced when it comes to the GTA.
Right.
And so I'm like, just follow me. We'll get down to the concourse. We'll find the platform. We'll come in and blah, blah, blah. So sure enough, we get off the train immediately. We go to the first stairwell and I come in, go to the concourse, look at the screen, and said delayed by 10 minutes, right? I'm like, okay, we got time. This is fine. Still going to suck in terms of time getting back home, but at least we're going to get on this train, right? I look across over, it's like, okay, it's not too bad. And I look and my buddy is not there. And I'm like, and I looked across and I was like, maybe he's walked off somewhere to a different screen. He's not in the concourse, Lee. And so I'm trying to call him and I forget his phone has died. So now I'm like, oh God, what are we?
Come on.
So,
you can't
fortunately,
you can't be leaving anywhere if your phone dies. Like
I know.
Stick with that's not good on him.
No. So fortunately, so we get onto the get up into the platform. And fortunately, he got on the right platform. He was just on the other side of the trains. And so we see each other and it's like on each side of the tracks. So it's like, okay, well, at least we're not going to risk it into Oshawa and just be like, hopefully he's there, So
right.
We were able to reconnect, but it was a little bit of an experience coming out. I might have sent the fact Trevor a couple of I don't like this city, but much stronger terms.
Yep.
To him. And then but we got back to Oshawa. Drive back was good. And got back into Belleville around 3 a.m. So not my favorite exit of a building of an event I've ever done. Story to tell as well for the future, but overall, like just from a concert perspective, like the actual concert itself, I had a really good time.
Yeah.
I'm glad I went. I was coming in with some things about it could be this, could be that, but boy, like my biggest takeaway is Slash was so awesome. Like some of the guitar solos were just unreal. And they had good performances out there. Yeah, Public Enemy was very good. Really like Guns N' Roses. And it was really great to see. It was really great to see all the people out as well. So it was a fun time. Had a good time.
What's the best concert you've ever been to?
So here's the funny part, Lee.
Zach, I feel like what's coming right now that we can all sense is something to the effect of this is your first concert.
First big stage concert, yes.
Okay. Oh, all right. You know what? You live in Belleville. Your first big stage concert. So what's the drop off? Like, what's next on the... Yes, I've seen a concert, but it's like
probably in the hundreds, I would say.
Like at the gym at the public school down the street, or like what? What's the drop off here?
No, there's a concert hall in Toronto. I went to it's a rap group that I went to go see. This is a couple of years ago now, so bear with me. But
so your history with concerts is not vast.
No, it was not. It was supposed to be the first like big concert outdoor stuff. It was supposed to be many years ago before COVID. The Rage Against the Machine, when Rage Against the Machine showed up for Blues Fest. But then of course it got postponed because of COVID. And then I eventually had to sell off some of the tickets because by the time it was eventually going to happen, that's when I was moving to Belleville. I was like, I could use some money to help with the move. So yes.
Okay. That's not your fault. Not your fault.
Yeah. I am I am the opposite of my brother, who's a big time concert goer, goes to a lot of concerts.
So you were born in the year what?
1997.
97.
Yeah.
5 years previous to that, Metallica, Guns N' Roses, and Faith No More at Exhibition Stadium in Toronto after the Dome had opened September 13th, 1992. I was there. And it was not long after a bunch of people in Montreal threw stuff at Axl Rose.
Yeah,
And
I was just going to say that was that concert before, I imagine was before the Montreal concert where things kind of went.
No, it was like a month after.
Oh, after. Okay.
So you wondered exactly what was going to go on. Again, no internet.
Yeah.
At that time. I have to remind people of that. Like, no internet. So you only really knew stuff that you saw on TV and maybe heard on the radio. But I remember being at that concert going, this is like, I'm a teenager. I'm like, this is incredible.
Right.
Just incredible. And it went to the wee hours of the morning. I saw Guns N' Roses play at the Cops Coliseum in Hamilton, where they exchanged, like they took a break in the middle of the show, and then they came back from a break. Like it wasn't an encore. It was just, yeah, we're going to take 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then came back, but they put couches and they did this full acoustic set of, like 7, 8 songs at Cops Coliseum in Toronto. So I've seen Guns N' Roses a few times. So I'm happy that you're venturing into this world. I don't know that stadium to me would be, oh man, like your first big outdoor concert, like the RBC amphitheater, the one that's down at Ontario Place. It used to be called Budweiser Gardens. I think that's the RBC amphitheater right now, right?
I think so, yeah.
Incredible venue.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about that venue.
I saw Stapleton there as well. Nice. When he first was making his tour. It was awesome. So that's a great venue to go outside and see. And I'm going to date you even further here, but you have a little bit of history, which I appreciate. So back in the day, before they had any of the outdoor amphitheaters in Toronto, all the bands came to Kingswood Music Theatre at Canada's Wonderland. And if you had a season's pass at Canada's Wonderland, you got into concerts for free.
Okay.
Right? So you're thinking, okay, like, cool. I'm sure it's a lot of money, but if you're going to go to all the concerts, great. We're in like end of public school, going into high school. Like that, it was around that time, like late 80s. Seasons pass, Canada's Wonderland. So you get to go on all the rides all the time. You can stay for as long as you want, and you get to go to the concerts. $29.99.
Wow, for the season pass?
That's right.
Whoa.
So smartly, we lived about half an hour, depending on traffic, like half an hour, 40 minutes maybe. But a whole bunch of the parents got together and we're like, okay, we're going to divvy up the rides. And this, instead of sending all of our kids to camps, this is what we're going to do. Someone's going to drop them off in the morning and someone's going to pick them up at night. And they're just going to go and be at Canada's Wonderland all day. And I remember getting a little personal here, but I remember it was like grade 7, big crush on a girl, big crush. And the girl's part of we're there in a big group.
Yep.
And the girl says to me, I'm going to stay for the concert tonight. and my parents are going to pick me up afterwards because I really want to stay for the concert. Do you want to stay with me? I'm like, yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely, I do. By the way, who's playing tonight? The answer, Zach. The answer is Tiffany.
Oh, Tiffany. Let's go.
Headlining with a group playing before them that nobody really knows. So, look, I'm there. I've said yes. The rest of the group's gone home. Like, I'm staying. The group beforehand, I don't remember the concert. I don't remember anything about them. I do remember that they had back in the day these rugby shirts. Benetton came out with these rugby shirts that said Benetton across.
Yep.
And they were all different colors you could buy. You know, they're white with like green or red or yellow or whatever. So go up and all the guys on stage have different color Benetton shirts, and they're opening for Tiffany. And the only thing I remember, I'm doing a hand motion now.
Yeah.
But the only thing I remember is this, like waving my hand over my head and back. Oh, hanging tough.
Oh, there you go.
The New Kids on the Block.
Wow.
Opening for
Tiffany. That's not something you would think of nowadays.
No. They were.
Look, I think we're alone now as much as the next guy, but that's not
you want to talk about thinking that you're alone now?
Yeah.
Be at this concert. Well, all your friends have gone home and you're with the girl, but she's there for the concert and you're there for her, and New Kids on the Block and Tiffany are playing.
Yeah.
But I say that, like that summer, I mean, I was into the hair bands. I still love me some 80s hair bands.
Yeah.
So we're talking about, the Poisons, the Warrants, Cinderella, White Lion, Slaughter. I love Slaughter.
Yeah.
But it goes on and on and on, right? Firehouse, some of these bands, and they all came, all of them. And I got to see so many concerts at Kingswood Music Theater as part of my $30. But $30 at the time was especially for a kid, that was a lot.
Yep.
So it would be like, okay, well, you're gonna do the chores once a week all summer, and again, the deals were made to be able to get this season's pass, right?
Right.
Imagine that though, $30, $30 for the summer, and you get to see all the concerts.
That's a great deal. I'd be hopping on that right away.
Well, I think sometimes I don't give our parents credit, but they had the right idea.
Yeah.
We're just gonna drop these kids off. I'm sure they'll be safe. Something happens to them. There's a group there. There's security there. Like, what could possibly go wrong?
Yeah.
And they'll be exhausted when they come home 12 hours later. Right. We loved it.
Yeah.
We loved it. Man, I think of all the concerts, like so many good ones. One of my favorites of all time was the concert hall that is no longer there at Young and Bloor in Toronto. I saw the Tragically Hip days after Road Apples came out.
Oh, okay.
And they were just starting to be really popular. Like, I mean, the concert hall was not very big. No air conditioning, sweatbox galore.
Yeah.
And man, what an absolute crazy good concert that was. But now the older you get, I'm glad you're getting into your stadium stage of life. But the older you get, now I want the more intimate venues when I go to concerts.
Yeah.
I want the band that I want to see, but I don't want to see them with 45,000 people.
Yeah, exactly. Like I went to a Joey Valence and Bray, which is just a rap group that I like. And that was at the concert hall, and I think it was the Danforth.
Yep.
And this was a couple of years ago. This was around that time. I was like, oh, I really like this group, and they've started to get more into the mainstreamish. They're still on the edge, but they're starting to get a little bit more notice. And it was just nice to like, I'll be in this like little intimate concert venue, and just, you don't really realize just how much those intimate concert venues could be until you go to something like a Guns N' Roses at a big 50,000 seat stadium. Cause then you're like, whoa, like you start to, it really kind of puts it into perspective. Right. So, but yeah, no, that was an interesting experience. It was a good time. I'm glad I went, and I'm glad I was able to win the tickets to be able to go. Was not something I thought I was going to be doing the week before.
What time did you work the next day?
I worked at 9 a.m. the next day.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a couple of times in the past few weeks, Zach McGibbon with a very, very late start and then having to go to work the next day.
Yep.
I'm still recovering from getting home at 3:15 in the morning.
I was going to say, how's that recovery going?
Probably asleep by 4 a.m., up at 6:15 to do a very physical job.
Ugh.
Like, yeah, I'm still trying to recover.
Yeah.
From that. So speaking of concerts, this might be a whole show, and we'll like stop the show and then come back and start about AEW or something. I'm not sure. We'll or maybe it'll just be into one, or Zach will cut it up and into segments. I don't know.
We'll see.
Speaking of concerts, probably the number one person on my list right now that I have not seen previously, the Zach Brown Band.
Mm-hmm.
Love Zach Brown. Kind of country, but kind of like people think they're really country. They're really not. I call them islandy.
Okay.
They're more country, but Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah.
But Zach Brown's been in some very, very high profile spots. He sang the anthem at some major, major sporting events, and they played the Sphere in Vegas. I think people would know. They're not my absolute favorite songs that they sing, but people would know Chicken Fried. They would know Toes in the Water, Ass in the Sand. They're a bit sing-along-y, but they have some really, really good kind of deep stuff.
Mm-hmm.
As of Wednesday night, I am on holidays, which is exciting for listeners and viewers of OSN who get to see Zach McGibbon host some Red Blacks football. And I'm going to come back. I already know I'm going to miss 2 games, and I'm going to come back and they're going to be 2-8.
Yeah.
and Zach's going to be, look,
you know what, Lee, I don't think we need you anymore. I think
we've made an executive decision. The Red Blacks have called us, and we agree that you need to watch from the outside.
Yes. We might allow you in the chat. We might allow you to get some comments in the chat, but that might be the extent.
It might be the extent of it. I'm willing to hear that if they're 2-8. If they go into Winnipeg and into Montreal and win both of those games when they haven't won a game all season, I'm willing to hear that argument.
Yeah.
When I come back. However, as of Wednesday night, I'm on holidays and most likely gonna venture. I would like people to reach out if they have some ideas, but Zach Brown Band is playing in Pittsburgh on the Thursday night. And for Zach Brown, last week they played at Fenway, and they had, I think it was like their 13th or 15th straight sellout at Fenway. And what did they do, Zach? They gave every single, I know I'm calling you Zach and seeing the Zach Brown Band, I get it. Yep. But what did they do? They gave every single person who attended that concert a cruise on like the Margaritaville. They're involved in the cruise line, Zach Brown Band, but kind of with Jimmy Buffett, Margaritaville Cruise Lines. They gave every single person a cruise that went to the concert. Estimated value, $40 million. Why can't I have gone to that one? And now I want to go to the one in Pittsburgh. Imagine going to a concert, though, and it's like Oprah, and you win a cruise, and you win a cruise. You win a cruise.
Everybody gets a cruise. You'll be like Tom Cruise jumping up on the couch to stay on the Oprah references.
You know what? The way that you tied Tom Cruise into the cruise stuff, like it's just, folks, that's why he is a professional.
It works on so many levels.
It's well done because people are picturing it. Then I'm talking about a cruise and Oprah giveaways, and it all just ties in together.
Can't exit concert venues to save my life, apparently, but I can come up with things, that connects with what we're talking about on our live show.
You're very punny.
Yes. For better or for worse.
So that's a distinct possibility for me on Thursday. Haven't got tickets yet, but there are tickets available.
Yep.
When you're buying for one, it's not that hard. There are singles available. Not looking for 6 in the same spot.
Right.
So that's a possibility at the PPG Paints Arena in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
A lot of plosives there.
Yeah. Been to Steeltown a couple of times. I love it there. It is one of the more underrated cities you're ever going to go to.
I always hear so many good things about Pittsburgh. Like there's the reputation to be like a hard city because of the
blue collar Steeltown.
Yeah, but every time people go there, it's like, no, it's a fantastic city.
Again, if you're in Ottawa right now and you picture what the city looks like, they pretty much have, I mean, Three Rivers Stadium used to be the stadium, right? But they do have the Three Rivers that interconnect in Pittsburgh. And so imagine in Ottawa where the Museum of Civilization is across the water in Gatineau. But right there, like you cross the bridge, it's there. That's where the baseball stadium is. And it looks back out over the city. So where the Pirates play is where the Museum of Civilization is. And on game days, they close the bridges and you can only walk over. And there's a whole bunch of bars and restaurants. And you go to the game and you sit in the crowd and you look back across the city landscape. And you're like, this is pretty good. And then you go even downtown. Man, it was such a cool city. I loved it being there. I was there for the NHL draft and was there early when the ballpark kind of first opened. And Heinz Field's kind of in the same parking lot or whatever they call Heinz Field now.
Yeah. I was going to say, I will still be calling it Heinz Field from here on out.
Yeah, I don't know what they call it, but the football stadium and man, just a beautiful city. So people would argue like in December and January, is it so beautiful? Well, is Ottawa beautiful in January and February? I don't know.
Winter's always tough, but no, I always hear good things about Pittsburgh. It's like what you mentioned, just the way that it's laid out and some of the different ways that they have the whether it be Heinz Field or as I searched it up, Acrisure Stadium.
What?
That's according to me typing in Heinz Field, Acrisure.
Yeah, I believe you. I just don't know how to pronounce it.
I don't know either. So I will just, for the sake of simplicity, call it Heinz Field. But the baseball stadium there too. Like I always hear now, unfortunately, the Pirates play there, but the actual baseball stadium itself, like, is really nice.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah, I'm of course joking. It's just more, but it's just kind of unfortunate the state of the team itself. But the stadium's really nice.
But the town is great, and I found the people great. One of the one of the things that they have a franchise of, it's like we have Tim Hortons in Canada, but in Pittsburgh, they have Primanti Brothers. And if you look up Primanti Brothers, yeah, here we go. If you look up Primanti Brothers and kind of what they are, it's basically that they make like unbelievable, like kind of sub sandwiches, that kind of thing.
Yep.
But their feature is that they basically put fries in all of their sandwiches.
Ooh, all right.
Right. And they're big in Pennsylvania. I know they're outside of Pennsylvania a little bit, but man, Zach, if you've had a Primanti Brothers sandwich and it's vintage and like they sell them at the ballpark and everything else, but if you go to Primanti Brothers,
that's the place to be. I'm searching some of the I've seen some of the photos of these sandwiches and they look awesome.
like it's
totally something I would buy.
and so worth it. You're like, can it be really that good? You're like, yeah. So I'll be getting me a Primanti Brothers sandwich if I go there.
There you go.
And then I'm kind of open for business. I am going to go down to my uncle's in Florida, but I'm open for business, Zach. And this is where I need your help.
All right.
I'm going to give you a couple of options. And like the pro that you are, you're going to keep talking as I leave here for a sec. But
okay, yeah.
On the trip, it's like I want to spend time with family. And if I go, I'm going to drive. The option is flying in. Is you can't get direct. So it's going to be very hard to get direct. So it's going to be an all-day thing by the time you like do layovers and rent a car and go there. So you're basically one day on each side of traveling. Or if you go down, you're probably at least 2 days on each side of traveling. So you're giving up a couple of days that you're actually there visiting and like spending time with them and going to the beach and relaxing.
Right.
But you get to do things. You get to go see Zach Brown. Or on the way back, I've never seen a NASCAR race. I love NASCAR. I know other people don't. They love Formula One. They love other.
Yep.
But that's fine. I like that you like racing. I really enjoy NASCAR. I've never seen a NASCAR race. On the way back next, I guess it would be 2 weeks today, NASCAR in Richmond, Virginia. They almost always race on Sundays, which makes it difficult. But this is a Saturday night, 7:00 race.
Ooh, okay.
And Richmond, Virginia, on the way home, is directly on the route home. Like you actually have to pass through Richmond, Virginia on I-95 to get home. And it's within 15 or 20 minutes, it's like legit the halfway mark. 12 hours basically on each side. 11 and a half maybe, but you know what I'm saying.
Yep.
And Richmond's almost directly in the middle of that. So it'd be like 11 hours, 11 and a half hours in the car, go to the race Saturday night, grab a hotel, get up another 11 and a half hours home the next day. So there is a lot of traveling in this. I'll leave it with you for a second.
Okay.
What do you do? Do you go to the Zach Brown band in Pittsburgh, drive down the rest, which would be like a 15-hour drive from there the next day, which means you're going to be awfully tired once you get there.
Yep.
And it's like, hey, my holidays, it's Wednesday night. And then it's maybe you get there like late Friday night and you're absolutely exhausted. And then on the way home, you're leaving a day early. You're probably getting up super early on Saturday morning, driving 11 hours to Richmond, going to the NASCAR race, grabbing a hotel, and then getting up and doing 11 hours on the way home. Now, there is another side little thing. I think I told you this before. I'll leave it with you.
Sure.
If you don't go to the NASCAR race, I could possibly get to, by Saturday night, Reading, Pennsylvania, which is about an hour off of the track on the way home, but not too bad.
Yep.
Like 1 hour off. And AEW Collision is live in Reading, Pennsylvania. As we sort of tie this back to wrestling at some point.
Yes. Only an hour 10 in. That's okay.
Yeah. AEW Collision live in Reading that night. And that is right before they all go over to England for All In. And I guess the debate is, yeah, it'd be cool because the venue, I'm sure, is a little smaller. Be fun to see in that sort of environment. But at the same time, how many big stars are going to be there on like the last card on the secondary show before they go to England? Like,
right.
Are you really going to see
Will
Ospreay and Swerve and Hangman and MJF and like, or are you going to see the Dark Order and
I don't disrespect Evil Uno around here.
All right, you're going to see Jack Perry.
Okay, now we're talking.
Right? You're going to see
I will say, though, I feel like John Moxley will be there because John Moxley's just everywhere. He's just like, that's stop in Reading is okay for me before I go fly. So
the benefit of that is going to a cool wrestling show in an intimate venue and probably seeing some other people that you're not going to be able to see, and then having a shorter drive home, probably like 8-ish hours on Sunday to make it reasonable. And this is all before, as I leave you with all of this.
Okay.
This is all before getting home on like the Sunday late at night, depending on whether it's a 8-hour, 11, 12-hour drive. Maybe you're flying home if you're taking the flying option. And the very next day, it's up at 6 to go to work. And then what's that Monday night? It's a double taping. It is Monday Night Raw. It is SmackDown at CTC. That This Is Wrestling, of course, going to be there.
Yep.
And strap in for like 6 hours of WWE TV that they're going to probably have an hour of wrestling in the 6 hours. So I'll leave you with all of that, and I'll be back in a minute.
Okay, sounds good. Well, I will film.
It's a lot of info, though, to give you.
I know.
And for people who are listening, and you, I'm open to any other ideas.
Yes.
Like anything's on the table here.
I like it.
Okay.
I like it. I like how you teed it up. Because as you mentioned, there is so much I could really process with this. It's essentially a T-ball game. I'm staring right at the ball, and I'm just about to hit it and try and just swing for the fences at this point to try and get something going here. So, I mean, there's a lot to process here because there's also the factor of you have, in the case of Lee Versage, something that's more of a personal interest for him when it comes to NASCAR. It's something that he's never seen a live race before. The timing works out where he can get into Virginia to be able to go see the show. It's going to be a little bit rougher, but this is something that he has always wanted to see, something that he has always wanted to do, and he has the opportunity to do it. Or go to the Collision show, where this would not be the first time he's been to an All Elite Wrestling show. He's been to the shows in Toronto. There was, of course, the Collision that happened in Ottawa a couple of years ago now, which is hard to believe, but you already have that, but you have to think as well of the contribution to the OSN brand in all of this. Of course, we have the wrestling background, so you would be able to get, for the This Is Wrestling audience, the connection between Lee's experience at the show in Pennsylvania for that Collision, getting that live experience, knowing how the TV works down there in the States, getting that personal experience. This really is kind of a tough call to make because you also, as he mentioned, has to add into the fact that you've got the double taping coming up, which, as I realize, this is going to be a lengthy night. It's going to be a pretty lengthy night. and I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to host a talk show during that week. So I will make sure to bring that up to Lever Sage. But it's such a fascinating dilemma because I think the NASCAR thing, you can get a different angle to everything. It's something different. Sometimes with people different, it's a lot that happens. I'm not so sure, but it's something different that we could hear. I mean, we just had a whole hour here on this show talking about my experience at Guns N' Roses, something different than what we usually talk about. Maybe from a content aspect, you get something different in terms of a NASCAR review, especially from somebody that is very deep into the season of NASCAR. I am not familiar with NASCAR. It would all be a learning experience for me. So I would be all for that, to listen to that. But of course, again, Collision, it's a big time collision. It's not just any other collision. This is the collision before they fly over to the United Kingdom to get ready for the upcoming All In show. I imagine there's a Dynamite and Collision that's in there too. Fascinating. Just a fascinating decision. A lot to really kind of process in there. I mean, I think it would be cool to get that idea of what the experience is like going to a NASCAR race and just, the environment, the people there. What do you kind of expect? It's something we always hear about. I don't know how much of our audience and people tuning in, if they wanted to get into the chat as well, give their thoughts about NASCAR, if they are NASCAR guys, or even want to learn more about it. I'm also kind of open to hearing about that. Or if you want to stick with the wrestling side, I think there is that element of being able to learn more about the experience from Collision. And I imagine while you aren't going to get your big names, as Lee mentioned, I'm pretty confident Jon Moxley will be there no matter what. But some of those big stars probably not going to be there. It's such a fascinating dilemma. I mean, I kind of want to know what the NASCAR experience is like. We've had a lot about the in-person experience at Dynamites or Collisions even before a pay-per-view. It would be a bigger pay-per-view in this case with All In. But I'm kind of fascinated to see what Lee does at a NASCAR race. So for me personally, Lee, as you return, as I think about it out loud and just trying to break it all down, because while you were gone, I'm like, my brain's also like, what about the content aspect and all of this? You get your time off, but what about the listener? I'm trying to think about, you're talking about being man of the people beforehand. It's like, we got to be, men of the people here.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think too, you have we just did a whole thing about Guns N' Roses.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be something different for the listener about somebody that went to their first NASCAR race, how that experience is like.
Yep.
So from a content aspect, we've been to a couple of Dynamites and Collisions already, not to brag or anything like that, but it's something that we've done before. It is a little bit different because you already talked about All In, but I would kind of be interested to hear your thoughts on the NASCAR experience, because it's not something we usually hear about on any sort of our programming here at OSN. So that's where I'm kind of leaning to. I know it's going to be a bit of a hike, a bit of a travel, but sometimes opportunities like this, they don't come around very often. And so you have the opportunity to do it, to take advantage of it, I'd say.
So I appreciate the fact that you talked about it out loud to be able to, and people are like, where the hell is Lee?
Yes.
Number one, it is absolutely pouring here. Quite a big, I don't want to say storm, because I don't know how long it's going to last, but it went from being okay outside to absolutely crap pouring outside.
Right.
And all the windows are down in the palatial estates. And I'm like, yeah, there's electronic equipment getting wet.
So you're like, I probably want to make sure that's tended to.
I'm going to have to go check that. Because I'm not going to be able to sit here.
So what you're saying is, if the lights went out at the palatial estates, that's what's going on right now, as you were trying to deal with some electrical stuff.
Well, did I have to go to the bathroom? Yep, I did. But could I have made it? Maybe. But with the thought of this, the TVs and stuff getting, because all the windows are down. Ooh. Yeah. Listen for the thunder that might come, because that was a big bolt of lightning that just came.
Ooh, okay.
So yeah, we'll see how long we're on the air. So we've decided that from a content point of view, getting on the road. Can you hear that?
I heard that.
Once the big bolt of lightning comes, it's usually 20 seconds, or you count how long it is. And there's usually a huge thunder boom right after that. So
I actually felt it in my ear. It was something. It was a pop.
Yeah. I don't think we're done either. This is just rolled in. Oh, and by the way, too, quick update. Last night, complaining about my aerated lawn that's been taken over by skunks digging holes in it. We finish up the broadcast 1:30 in the morning. I go to lock the doors. I look outside. There's a skunk. Like right there. I banged on the door. It took off. I'm like, don't be air raiding my lawn. It's like I just talked about it and it was right there.
Right.
That sucked. So I'm like you. I'm kind of leaning towards this this road trip because it would give some good content.
Yep.
Like being able to update people, like going to see a band you've never seen that you really, really want to see is always an experience.
Yeah. That was also the thing I was mentioning too, was like, we just talked about Guns N' Roses, something different that I think was interesting to try and, venture out on. And I think at least with the NASCAR side, NASCAR better than anybody I know. So it would be interesting as somebody that's never been to it before, like that whole experience and relating it back. So.
Yeah. Like I love NASCAR. I know it very well. I've actually done 2 tours of the Daytona International Speedway.
Oh, there you go.
Which is, for anyone down even close to Daytona, it is so cool, even if you're not a race fan, to see how big, like it's a 2.5 mile track, right?
Yep.
The place is ginormous. And to see some of the things up close when they take you, like it's 2.5 hours and it's like $20.
Right.
And they take you everywhere, like whether it's pit lane or, where the checkered flag is, or they take you on the turns, they take you down everywhere that you need to be. But when they take you on some of the turns and they stop and they get out and they have one of those like medicine balls, like that are softer, but they're like, they hand it to people and like, try and get up to the top. And you can't.
Right.
Because it is so steep. It's crazy. And you're like, people are passing doing 200 miles an hour and they are literally sideways. So to be able to see it up close would be like not at Daytona. It would be in Richmond, but still to see it kind of up close. And there is a pull from the fans because they go out, and NASCAR fans are, they're countryish for sure, but they go out and they like to watch the races and drink beer and cheer for their favorite guy. And it's like, I kind of want to see what that's like too.
Right.
Like I want to soak in the environment and see if it's what it's like, what it comes across on TV as. Mm-hmm. And I want to cheer my guy. Ryan Blaney's my guy.
Yep.
So I guess it's the preparation of knowing like that pull between you're never going to get to, not never, but it's like, what are you waiting for? If these are in front of you and you've never done these things, how come you haven't done them yet? And like, how many more chances are you going to get and all that stuff? But there also is it's supposed to be a vacation.
Yeah.
Not, I'm supposed to be exhausted for a week and a half.
Right.
And seeing my family and doing these things. It's supposed to be relaxing.
Yes.
It's
supposed to be the idea of the vacation.
Not the opposite of like, man, I hope I get to Pittsburgh on time and I hope my hotel, how much are the tickets? And then, I got 15 hours drive today and I'm gonna get there, and 15 hours, a long time to be in the car. So I'll be exhausted when I get there, but then I'm here to see my family. Yay. But I'm exhausted. And you know what I mean? Yeah. So there's a pull there.
Yep.
It's good debate though.
Yeah. I will say again, this will be Safety Sam over here. All right. Whichever decision you make, I'm in full support 100% wherever you go.
I knew you would be.
Like if you go to Collision, that is not going to be anything I'm going to be like, oh, I can't believe it. He went to Collision instead of the NASCAR race. It's like, all right, perfect. We'll get some stuff to talk about for This Is Wrestling, you know? Yeah. But if you went to the NASCAR race, I think just from a different angle of content and something different, I think it'd be something interesting. The travel is definitely something that I would be like, this might be a little bit tough, but
you have to enjoy the travel. Like, and I do enjoy it. Ooh, you can hear.
Heard a little bit there.
It feels like it's on the cusp of something bigger. I guess I was waiting for the bigger pop.
Yeah.
But you have to enjoy it. There's that fine line between, hey, I'm free. If I want to go to this place, maybe I want to go to this town tonight and stay there. I can. Like, I'm not tied into anything. There's that fine line of, man, the world is my oyster. Or, holy crap, it's 7:00 at night and I have nowhere to stay tonight.
Yes.
Right? Like,
yep.
Like, what am I doing? And then the fine line of the Collision show, it's like, how many times can you see Mascara Dorada and Commander go up against like Tommaso Ciampa and, you know, maybe the big stars, Speedball Bailey, because Hechicero will be there. And here comes Chris Statlander, but like, no, none of the big boys, big girls are there.
Yeah.
The demand would be there for sure.
Yeah. I was joking again. I'm pretty confident John Moxley's just going to be there because it's John Moxley's like, I don't care where I have to go. I'm going to be there. If it's Reading, Pennsylvania, then I'll be there. But, you know.
I know. But it feels like the demand is going to be in the main event no matter what. Like, that's a perfect spot for them.
Well, clearly in demand, Lee, you know, so that's why they're in the main event.
Yeah. Speaking of AEW.
Yes.
Grand Slam Mexico. Before we go over the individual matches and what happened, I'm going to tell you that I don't remember a television show that I have enjoyed more than this television show in wrestling in a very, very long time. In fact, I'm sure people can put up other cards against it, but from a strictly watching on television, here's my 2.5 hours of a show, I'm trying to remember a better show. Was it the best one I've ever seen? Maybe, maybe not, but it's in the top 5, and I'm here to hear other ones that might be in the caliber. This show is why I watch AEW, because, ooh, heard that?
Me too.
Will we be off the air in a minute? I don't know.
We'll see.
This is why, if it shows like this, that I can just turn on my television and watch this show from beginning to end. This had a lot of elements that I love in professional wrestling, Zach. This was an incredible television show for me.
Did you hear that, by the way? We're also getting some thunder and lightning over here. So
okay.
I don't know if you saw, but the lights flickered over here. It's like, oh my gosh, It's Sabu. He's showing up in my bill, but no, it's yeah. So man, so I didn't catch the Grand Slam show, and it happened again there. But I didn't catch the Grand Slam Mexico show live, obviously, because I was at a concert and trying to navigate my way to a Go station at that point. But no, man, I watched it back. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I didn't catch this live. This was one of the best TV episodes of wrestling I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Just from crowd, environment, matches. This made it feel so must see, to the point where I was like, man, I got to find a way to get to Mexico to go see an Arena Mexico show.
Yep.
Because this is just so much fun. See, Lee, this is fun. I had fun. I had fun watching this. It's great. I like having fun watching wrestling when it's stuff like this. Just some of the matches on this.
And can you believe it, Zach? With the way that people feel, the wrestlers feel about Arena Mexico now and wanting to be there when they are having fun because they want to be there and they want to be involved and they think it's important. It's incredible how that translates on television to fans like us who also then feel the importance of watching it.
Right? It's unbelievable how it works.
When they care, we care.
Yep. It's so simple, but it's so effective, right? Man, I thought this Grand Slam show was great. Just looking over the card again and another great Speedball Mike Bailey and Kyle Fletcher match. I mean, what a shocker, right? That those two would go out there and have another great match.
Unbelievable chemistry.
It's unreal, the chemistry that they had. That was a great match. Mystico's entrance again was just like, it's unbelievable. You watch this and you're like, this is one of the biggest stars in all of pro wrestling, period. Just any company. This is one of the biggest stars in pro wrestling that I'm watching on television right now when Mystico comes out. I don't want to hear Tanner talk about Sin Cara. I don't want to hear about Lord Tensai. No, this is Mystico. This is one of the biggest stars in pro wrestling today, if not the biggest star in pro wrestling. And you just felt that when he came out for his entrance. Man, just up and down the card, just an incredible show, atmosphere, matches. I wouldn't be disappointed if Tony Khan looked at this and said, you know what, I could probably turn this into a pay-per-view next year. This is something that I would be willing to purchase next year.
So it started off, you had the Young Bucks and Cage and Cope against the Death Riders, and you could see already, we've heard from Adam Copeland. We do the Maple Leaf Pro. We know his bucket list now, Arena Mexico and Maple Leaf Gardens and all this stuff. But he cared very much to be there. And the crowd cared. The chanting of the songs and how much the crowd was into it. You know that a wrestling show that is this good, they had a match, like the first match, this match opened up the card, and then the last match, which we'll get to.
Yep.
When I know exactly what's going to happen as far as the way that the end is going to go, and I still don't care because it's awesome, that tells you everything. I get the second they walked out, I was like, well, Young Bucks are facing Cage and Cope, and they're going to get into some sort of miscommunication that's going to cost that team the victory. So the dissension's only going to go up.
Yeah.
And you know what? I don't care. Because there's 8 guys that clearly want to be here. Right? And it was great. Even though I knew what was going to happen. So the Death Riders win. And then number 1 spot in the Casino Gauntlet, you have Ciampa, you have Commander, and you have Andrade. And you know Andrade's going to win.
Yep.
You already know it.
Okay, but how you know?
Because I'm smart. But what I didn't know is that he was going to be left laying by a returning MJF, who didn't just come back, but he brought his Triple B. Is he going to rip off that this is the real championship shtick, even though he just lost? And he's the one that agreed to that match in the first place.
Yep.
So I don't know how he's claiming still to be the real champion, but having him come back, and he's so believable. He's just so good at what he does. So he comes back, he leaves Andrade laying, and then I guess what's good is I don't know. He seems to be very involved in this world championship title spot. So it feels like he's going to be in the gauntlet match and going to win the gauntlet match. Or, and I ask you, does the feud with Andrade prevent either of those guys from winning it and somebody else wins because those two are the clear favorites, but those two take each other out of the gauntlet so that they can face each other in like a pay-per-view down the line and they get into a feud.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the latter. This is something that I have been calling for a while. I thought they were going to do an MJF Andrade match here before MJF took time off. This to me is building up to a bigger program. You could tell just from interviews with MJF, some of the mentions he's made to Andrade, to some of the beef he's had on Twitter. It seems like very minuscule stuff, but when you have somebody like MJF who thinks about the business just so differently and is, if anything, thinks about it 24/7, and he's always in a work mode, it really led to me thinking, okay, there's going to be some sort of a program between these two somehow, some way in the end. And they've done a really good job of building up Andrade where I'm like, yeah, I could absolutely see an MJF Andrade program being something that I want to see on TV. They've done a really good job of that. Do I love everything about the Andrade gimmick? No. But do I think he's been on some of his best, having his best work in years, probably since NXT? Absolutely. I think he's just doing so well right now. So I think it's the latter. I think it's setting up some sort of a program between the two that's going to continue past All In. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm very interested to see what they have kind of cooked up for this. And it was great to see MJF back. Brought me back, Lee. I decided after I saw MJF show up in Mexico after the show, I'm like, I got to see MJF Mystico again. That match was so good. I love that match so much.
Okay.
It was unreal from last year. Not the AEW match, the CMLL match, just when they got all bloody and MJF's ripping Mystico's mask and some of the different spots that they did in that match. Oh, so good. I still remember the aerial shot of them looking at the mat, and it's MJF got a submission on. It's just blood all over the mat because they just had this hard fought match. I'm like, this is what pro wrestling can be at its absolute best. So yeah, it was great to see MJF back. Very excited to see what he does with Andrade.
So then you had Willow and the Brawling Birds against Mercedes and Divine Dominion. Willow gets the pin on Mercedes. So it continues that. You mentioned then Fletcher and Speedball was just like out of this world good. Incredible sometimes when you're watching a match on TV that you feel as a fan like, wow, I don't even deserve this. It should be on pay-per-view.
Yes, I'm like I can't believe I'm watching this for free.
Right.
I mean, it's unbelievable. All their matches have been on TV. Think about that. That's crazy.
That's a great feeling, as a wrestling fan.
Oh yeah,
to be like, wow, I can't believe I'm watching this for free. This is just awesome.
Yeah, it was so good. And like I've said before, I personally think Speedball Mike Bailey, just purely in ring, is like a top 10 wrestler in the world at least. Because every time he goes out there and he's in there with some really good wrestlers, I feel like he gets the absolute best out of them.
Yep.
It's just a shame, like character-wise, it's still not there. It probably won't be there. But boy, do I love seeing Speedball wrestle. Like that guy is just so good. And especially now seeing this chemistry he has with Fletcher. I mean, this is something that they could really tap back into. When you got me thinking about New Japan of old of the 2010s, you got me feeling good because I'm like, this is a match that they could go back to, like when New Japan would do tours. Like, okay, let's go back to, Tomohiro Ishii having his matches, or Tanahashi Okada or Naito against some of the top guys as well. Like when you're able to have that ability at every time you're like, yep, I want to see that match again. You've got something there. And that's where I'm at with Protostar, Kyle the Protostar Fletcher, and Mike the Speedball Bailey.
You can do that with Speedball. That's fine. And every time I watch Fletcher, so right now, Will Ospreay is like my guy as far as I haven't felt like sort of this connected as a real fan of a guy in a long time.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, he better not lose that main event. Like,
yeah.
Like he better be the champion. Like I'm all in. Get it?
I get it. I was locked in with there.
I know.
I think he's winning the Continental Classic later this year. Not the obviously the.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a minute. The whole concept of this, because it is a bit confusing, I think, to some people. But my point is that I always thought MJF was number 2 as far as somebody that I loved watching on my television screen, no matter what he was doing.
Mhm.
Kyle Fletcher is pushing MJF for that spot. Like, man, every single thing, whether it's releasing social media videos or
Yeah.
like just anything in the ring, he's great. His promos are great, even when he's standing, like, and not the focus of the group interviews. He's amazing. And now they're setting up Fletcher and Okada and Takeshita, which is going to be like off the charts good. And it's weird to hope that Kyle Fletcher is going to lose that match as a fan of like wanting him to do well, because I really, really want him in the world title picture. And it doesn't make sense to put him in right now. Because if Will Ospreay gets it, I'd like to see Kyle Fletcher there with a chance to actually win it, and not like as the next challenger for Ospreay, where he's never going to lose it first.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like the CM Punk thing going on right now with Kevin Owens. I'm so glad Kevin Owens is back. The debate they had on SmackDown was incredible because it felt real. But it's like, is Kevin Owens really going to beat him for the title? Really? Like, after he's just got it? Probably not. So
unfortunately with Kevin Owens, like he's somebody that's just kind of been slotted as a great title challenger, but he hasn't won the title since he had that stuff with Jericho, which is hard to believe. That was 10 years ago. But and then losing it to Goldberg, your favorite pro wrestler, that was a whole thing. But yeah, that was such a very good promo too. I like that they're playing off of the real stuff there. And
I just, my point is, I don't want to see Owens in a spot where he's just going to go, but then he's eventually just going to lose.
Yeah.
And then what is he going to do? I don't want Fletcher to be in that same spot.
Yeah.
So
you know what that whole thing reminded me of with Kevin Owens? And I know we're talking about the AEW stuff, but it's just popped in my head. You know what it reminded me of? It really reminded me a lot of Punk and Eddie Kingston when Punk was first getting into the company.
Yep.
Because it was just two guys. Like, Eddie's like, I don't like you. And I thought you were a jerk to me. And Punk's like, I held you to a certain standard. There's a lot of things that they could play off of from that feud into this one with Kevin Owens, and probably even more so because of just the relationship and what people know of those guys together. So I'm interested to see where they go with that feud. I have faith in both performers that they could be able to make that interesting. And that might be the most interesting WWE feud for me, because
I agree. And even last night with the promo that they had, I thought they did a good job, because it's hilarious to me that Kevin Owens called him Phil, and then he reacted like, oh, you want to get real, man? Hey, you want to call me by my real name? Meanwhile, on the back of his shirt, it says Phil is the best in the world. Literally on his shirt. Yeah. But he got mad, like, yeah, you used my real name.
Only I could do that.
Like, who cares that it's on my shirt? Yeah. That's a bit too far, man. Yeah. Call me by my real name.
Lee, are you implying maybe that one Phillip Brooks might be a little bit of a hypocrite? Is that the implication here?
No, I'm implying that he made me think it was real when it's clear that they were doing some things that they had talked about previously.
Right.
And they were okay with. But regardless, it just felt real.
Yep.
So anytime Kyle Fletcher does something, it's like anytime MJF does something, it feels more real. And Fletcher is pushing MJF for that number 2 spot on my very important list of tracking guys that are amazing to me for everything that they do. So Will Ospreay won, but right at this moment, MJF is 2 with a hard pushing Kyle Fletcher for 3.
Yeah.
The next match has like all the things going on. Kevin Knight, Kazuchika Okada, and Hechicero go up against Mystico, who gets the full song entrance. It's awesome. It's just incredible.
So good.
How much the people care. Jericho comes out and he's got the Lionheart stuff on, and the crowd is very into singing Judas, and he gets the whole thing, and then Darby Allin comes out. I thought he was going to skateboard down the stairs, and I'm like, please don't.
Wouldn't be the craziest thing he's done.
I know, but please don't. I don't want to see a fall right away.
Yeah.
But so he didn't do that, but he skateboarded down the rest. Kevin Knight actually hit him with a real nice, like, kind of over the rope shot right away to get into that match.
Can I say something about Kevin Knight here?
Okay.
I'm starting to buy in a little bit more. I think he's getting better.
What?
I think I think he's starting to show more than what we initially saw of him when he was first starting to get the push. That everybody knows that he's going to be a guy that Tony Khan's looking at. His confidence has really shot up, I've noticed recently.
Okay.
And I saw that in this too. He's starting to put it together more. I'm starting to buy a little bit more stock into Kevin Knight. I will say this right now. I think and I know it's going to be like, oh, of course Zach is going to say this, but I think he's well ahead of Jack Perry in terms of a sense and like how he's being viewed.
Oh, yeah.
No, well ahead.
Sure.
I think there was a time when Kevin Knight was being pushed. I'm like, I'm worried this is going to be along that Jack Perry vibe where I'm going to get annoyed of seeing him get pushed, but I'm not right now. And I don't know if he's going to get that with the Jack Perry comp.
Yeah, so he's better than Jack Perry.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that bar's
high,
super high.
But the thing is when you set him as a pillar, I have to find the comp, right? So
they made it so that the bar was higher for him because they called him a pillar.
Yep.
And he's still in the company as opposed to Sammy Guevara, right? Who was another one of those pillars where he's not.
I don't know what's going on with Sammy Guevara there.
Yeah.
But
it's clear that Darby and MJF have taken that and run with it, and they are. So, yeah, I see what you're saying about Kevin Knight. Some confidence in the main event at Redemption. I just worry still about in a big single spot, like on his own, on the mic, investing me in a feud. Mm-hmm. It feels still to me like he's trying to be that guy as opposed to just being that guy. But it does take some time with younger people, for sure.
Yep. And at the end of the day, they have to get their reps in somehow in order to get better. You could find old comments when Kyle Fletcher was starting where it's like, oh, he's not the greatest promo in the world, when he first got started. But he really started to hone in on his promos too and got a lot better.
Yep.
I think with Knight, it's going to be a longer progression for him than it would be for a Fletcher. You could go back on this show, on This Is Wrestling, and hear me say, even while he was with Aussie Open, just coming in, that he was somebody considered with a lot of high upside that could be a star of that tag team. Like, you could see it right away. With Kevin Knight, it was a little bit more of, well, I got to see a little bit more in order to really buy in to what people are saying about him. I'm starting to buy in a little bit more. I'm not fully there yet, but I think in the last couple of months, I've seen the improvement, including promos. It's still not there. I'm not saying he's all of a sudden Ric Flair on the mic, but he's still somebody that I'm seeing the confidence grow with him. And I'm seeing that he's taking these spots and knowing that the spots that he's in and trying to maximize his time that he's out there. So I know there's other things in that match I wanted to talk about, but when you mentioned Kevin, I'm like, this is kind of the opportunity to slide in there. So we'll see. I'm kind of interested to see if he can continue that upward trend. I think there's something there that they can try and continue to hone in on. I did enjoy, by the way, on a different note, but it's relating to the match, Kazuchika Okada's reaction to the Mystico entrance was incredible. It was fantastic. Like, looking at the crowd, like, what are you doing? Just, man, he's so projectable. It's unbelievable.
I just need him to try.
I know.
That's what they tell people sometimes when I'm joking with them at work or like, Zach, I need you to try today.
Try.
But when he tries to try, he's awesome.
Oh, when he's locked in and he's invested in a storyline, he is still an elite in-ring worker, 80% Okada. Like, it's funny seeing him when you know it's not at 100%, but he's still better than a lot of pro wrestlers are at 80%.
Because there's glimmer and it just comes out.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, he's been, it's
right. Like
here's the comp as well. Here's the comp as well. Of going back to our Maple Leaf Pro review, which will be uploaded after this gets live. But a little teaser. I mentioned with PCO, he's been kind of relying more on gimmick to kind of keep him over. I feel like Okada has been doing that too, to an extent, where he doesn't have to rely on his in-ring work as much to keep him over. He's like, oh, I'm going to rely on my character, and I'm going to get to my catchphrase that I use and whatnot. So now those are two different ways that they're doing it in terms of committing more to their characters. But I think you understand where I'm coming from here, where if he doesn't have to go in there and put on 5-star bangers every single night, like he did in New Japan, he's relying more on his character because of the way that the television is presented. So now, fortunately for him, he's also a very entertaining character when he's on TV. So I thought his stuff with Mystico there with the entrance was great.
The only part of the show that I was kind of like, this is just okay. Sorry, it was quite loud there. I don't know if you picking that up. I just would like, maybe they can't get there. Like Chris Statlander and Hikaru Shida, I just have this, like, they flatline for me.
Yeah.
Statlander wrestling Persephone. They get Thunder Rosa involved, but it's like they keep shoving Hikaru Shida down my throat. And it's almost like I want to get behind Chris Statlander in better environments, but they just don't put her in these great environments. And I just don't care about Hikaru Shida. I just don't. So
me neither.
This one, Persephone wins. It wasn't awful, but it wasn't, to me, it was the worst part of a great show. That's what I would call it.
Yeah.
But then the Demand come out to defend the Trios championships against the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Like, come on. And then you get the entrance and the guitars and
the lower third for Hangman popped me so big. It was hilarious about the sombreros. He's like, worried about wearing them.
He's unsure about the sombreros.
Some of those lower thirds popped me big time when they put it in.
But this is why the Demand is here. Like, if they use them like this, they took the Trios championships. It's like, why do they need those again? Oh, they're just going to give them right back.
Yeah.
To like a better team, and Brodito and Hangman, who end up winning the titles. And this was great.
Yeah. So much fun. What did you think of Kimonito, Lee? The mini that was out there with the Good, the Bad, the Ugly.
So I'm going to respectfully say that if it's part of what they do and it's a big part of the CMLL, I'm not going to disrespect it. That's what I think of it.
There you go. All I will say is I got to see the feed where they were in the commercial break, but still calling the match. And there was a spot in the match where the Demand beat up Kimonito and it got huge heat in the building. I'm like, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
This is great. Because people are like, no, not Kimonito. No, not him. So I did enjoy that element of the match.
The combination of kind of the buckshot into the 21 plex. Fantastic. And we got new trios champions, Hangman, Bandito, and Brody King.
Interesting. This is where they have Hangman slotted, with Brodito.
Yep.
After coming back. Now trios champion and
putting titles on them, getting him involved in other spots. Again, I wonder where this might go. now. Like it was so much fun. And it's like, yeah, I can get behind this team, but who's there to really entertain me against them?
Right.
We'll see. Do you have an answer? Like where, like these three are great.
Yep.
Are they going to do something? Like we did see, I think it was self-released, right? That Tommy End is back. A bald Tommy End. I don't know if you saw that. He released
I did not. No.
Yeah, he released a video basically telling people, well, he didn't talk in it. He just was like, yeah, I've changed. Shaved my head. Back to the MMA stuff and is he going to come back and does he get involved in this?
Right. Well, I know there's the tease because I saw the Buddy Matthews stuff where he said he's cleared and ready to go.
Yeah.
And there was that tease he had put out about, rising up and all that. That kind of led people to think maybe they were going to go back to that House of Black look and bring back a Malachi Black. I did not see this Tommy N video, so this is kind of news to me. I'm hoping the way that you described it, it's more of a self-reflection that maybe his views on how he viewed pro wrestling didn't translate as well. And that could be a tough pill to swallow for a lot of wrestlers and takes a lot of self-realization.
Yep.
So if he's doing that and saying, look, I'm kind of understanding why, like, because when I got into Tommy End, it was because of the fact that he had this cool move set that was different from everybody else. And he had this different look. And the way that he was kind of approaching wrestling is like, I would joke about on the show. It's like, look at how the symbolism, my socks, it's black, which means darkness, right? Like stuff like that was just kind of like, come on, man. Like you gotta be. And the way that he would act in front of people as well, when they were trying to look into stuff and blaming it on us for looking into stuff, despite the fact that you've invited people to look into stuff deeper, like you can't have it both ways. So the way you're describing it, again, I haven't seen the video. Maybe I'm totally off base.
Well, the video is just like, yeah, like he literally is sleeping and he gets out of bed and like he's going to go and he's doing some things, kind of waking up, looking around at some of like in his house about some of the things that he used to do. And then he turns the lights off. It's like he's dreaming and he wakes up and then ends up thinking, okay, like what am I doing here? Selena Vega's in the video. It's an interesting video. It's about 3 minutes long. Looks like it's like getting back to your roots kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, if he's doing that, good. And I've been very critical of him in the past, but if he's kind of looking inward and going back to his roots, as you mentioned, then good on him. I cannot criticize the guy for that at all and trying to do something different. So I appreciate that.
And I can tell you the look of him bald and getting back into this like mixed martial arts fighting style is a good look for him.
Yeah.
My question would be, okay, if Tommy End's coming back and he's coming back like this and Buddy Matthews is on the way back here, to me, there's a good story there of do they get Brody King back? Do they pull Brody King away from Brodito back over to the other side and get involved in this Hangman, Bandito, Brody King, right? Now there's 5 guys there.
Yep. Would that be a step back for Brody King?
Well, it depends how much you're going to push the group at that point.
Right.
Because, well, again, I love that there's layers here.
Yep.
So it goes back to every time we're watching, there's people that think, and I know Le Champion has this view. It's like, why does Bandito still have the Ring of Honor World Championship? Because he comes in and yeah, he's now the trios champion, but he loses. Like he's one of those, I don't want to call him Speedball Mike Bailey or Mark Briscoe, but he loses as much as he wins.
Yep.
And he's great. It doesn't mean he's got to win all the time, but as the Ring of Honor World Champion, he's like 50-50 in AEW. And I don't even think that's bad.
Yep.
But it's just, why does he still have that championship? And is that holding him back? Do they have plans for Bandito to go and do some things with this Ring of Honor World Championship? And if they do, are they going to tie him up in Brodito? Like, what are they doing with him? And when you answer that question, it's like, if they're not totally committed to Brodito, I don't know if it's a step back for Brody King. I think he's kind of established himself here. Like he's pretty good. And then if he goes with them and they push the old House of Black or with the new group with Buddy Matthews and Tommy End, if they push them hard, I don't think it's a step back unless they have big plans for Brodito. I don't know the answer to that. I know that Hangman probably shouldn't be tied to them long term.
Yeah, that I agree with. I totally agree with Le Champion, by the way, on that Ring of Honor champion point. If he's just going to go out there and lose his matches, why have the belt on him in the first place?
If it doesn't make Ring of Honor look great.
No. If you're Tony Khan, you can't tell me this is a legitimate brand you're focused in, but then your champion is just losing every week.
Yeah, and maybe not
even if it's even,
but like not dominating.
No. Compared to other champions in AEW. That's for sure.
And look at Athena.
Yep. Absolutely.
Like doesn't dominate on the women's side in AEW either. These are the best people you have in Ring of Honor, and they've been your champions for a long time, and they're at best, they're 50-50 wrestlers.
Yep.
On AEW. And again, when I say 50-50, that's not a detriment to Bandito. I think he has some really good matches. I think he does some really cool things. He's a big part of what they do. Like Speedball Bailey would love to be a 50-50 wrestler.
Oh my God. Yeah. The way that he's been booked right now.
Right.
Absolutely.
And people still think he's great. Right.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't really know. Like my guess would be maybe they do a big thing where these guys are coming back, Tommy and Buddy Matthews, and the story would be, can they pry Brody King away? And you could probably hang on to that for a while because he's not just immediately going to go.
Right.
Maybe he never goes if they're going to do something with Bandito and they add somebody else to the group. Or maybe they do bring him over. Like, I think there's something there that you could hold on to for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But what's Hangman doing? Is he just a part of this, like watching on the side kind of thing, where he's not the focus? Like, what is the long term here with Hangman? My guess at All In is this new group coming back. And maybe they add somebody else if they can't get Brody King and challenge for the trios. But let's get to the main event because it's a match we've seen a couple of months ago. I know I told the story before, but I do tell like our buddy Steve, not really into wrestling. The first match I let him watch was Will Ospreay and Mark Davis in the semifinals of the Owen Hart Cup, which was a main event on Dynamite as well. And it was just, hey, here's an introduction to two guys that used to be a team and they're no longer. And it was a pretty good match. Man, I'm really happy for Mark Davis because out of United Empire, he felt very much like the forgotten guy or the third guy from Will Ospreay to Kyle Fletcher to him. And they have made him relevant. he is the pile driver out of nowhere. But I mean, these two obviously with great chemistry, incredible match. The only thing I didn't like about this at the end was like, this is what I should have got in Montreal, and I didn't get any of this.
And that was on TV.
The crowd, the song, the incredible match. I didn't get any of that. I got Will Ospreay in a tag match that was okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It was more story based than anything, but
this was fantastic.
Yeah.
And
Lee, were you caught up? Because this is a big debate. Were you caught up on the no outside interference stipulation to the street fight?
Yeah, so it's a big debate between two guys that run a show that are looking for something to talk about. And I get that Brian Alvarez and Dave Meltzer are very, very big in the wrestling journalist world. I like a lot of the stuff they do.
Me too.
I think Dave sometimes becomes a caricature of himself.
Agreed.
Where I feel like Brian is asking good questions still and like, hey, this doesn't make sense, and pointing it out. Now, Brian's got a little bit of a tendency, which fair in wrestling, to overdo it. It's like,
okay,
he's
also very prone to hyperbole as well. Like he's there's a lot of things.
They could have let this go.
Yes, and it spilled over onto Twitter too, where they're arguing.
That's what I mean. Like they could have let it go, and Brian brings it up, and Dave has this really odd trying to justify the answer, and you're like, no, guys, just say that Brian's right, and it's a little bit odd, and move on, because that's not the point. You're losing the point of what you just saw.
Exactly.
And now you're into some debate that like really doesn't matter at the end of the day. It's worthy of being pointed out that they had a Mexican street fight, but everybody was banned. Mexico City street fight.
Yep.
But everyone was banned from ringside. There's no interference. And those two things do not come together. So the logic side of me says, yeah, I mean, Brian's right, pointing it out. I don't think you needed to say it. Like, for me, the answer of this was just to never say that there was no interference, but just don't have any.
Yeah.
Like, let those two guys go out and fight in the Mexican street fight. Just don't say it, because now you've said it and you've kind of contradicted yourself with the rules, and it's just a little illogical.
Yep.
But I was willing. So Brian Alvarez was right on the debate. I think it was right to bring it up. And it just got really weird with Dave Meltzer trying to justify.
Explain it with the Continental Classic and all this. Like, it was very weird. Like, usually I'm more on Dave's side on other things than I am with Brian. But this one I was very much with Brian Alvarez on. I was like, this is kind of a little weird. But what's also been weird is just how much it's spilled over, and that we're still fighting about it on Twitter.
Well,
like this is kind of like irrelevant to the match itself at the end.
And it takes away from two unbelievable performers that gave a hell of a show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that's not what you should be talking about.
Yeah. And I say this, by the way, like, I'm a subscriber to The Observer. Like, I subscribe to the website, I read The Observer, the newsletter every week and all this stuff. But it's something that I notice is like, this is just kind of odd right now.
I'm a guy that got The Observer in the mail. And when it came in the mail, it was like my Christmas.
Yeah.
Like, I could not wait to read it.
Yep. Was it through the Hogan, observe this, brother? This is what we call a rag sheet, brother, on pay-per-view, where they were like, Macho Man's not hurt, but it was clear Macho Man was hurt, and Dave was correct on that.
Yeah.
But they had to like own Dave. That still one makes me laugh.
But anyway, I think Dave's become a bit of a caricature of himself, where he's trying to be Dave Meltzer, and it's like some of the stuff, like whatever he was trying to do to justify this, that it did make sense. It was just quite clear that it didn't. And it's like, it's okay. Hey, they probably shouldn't have done this. To my point, just have a Mexico City street fight. Don't tell anybody that there's no interference, but just don't have any.
Yep.
Like, that's the answer to this. But so I didn't get too caught up in it. I thought it was I thought it was dumb that this took over and spilled onto Twitter and everywhere else like it was some big debate when it rightly just should have been pointed out at the beginning and moved on to the performance of the guys.
And even could have just been left as a disagreement between the two. It's like, disagree, and then just move on.
Well, and that's where Brian, like Dave was coming up with these like ridiculous points to try to justify it. And Brian should have just been like, all right, like I brought it up. I don't even know really what you're saying.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to be on the same page on this one.
Let's just move on.
Yeah.
But if you can believe this, Zach, it's probably better business for them. So,
yep. People are talking about it. We're talking about it on the show. And
imagine that. So. Better business for them. And they're doing something that's not totally relevant to the show. That's better business for them. But good for them. Like, it doesn't bother me that they do it. I just don't have to spill into all of the crap that. Yeah. Right? Like
you and I have had our disagreements on stuff over the years, but it has never spilled out to, I'm going to take over the Twitter account and talk about how Ron Lever Sage was.
Right.
You know, like it's just like, I think I cannot think of any time I've done that, honestly.
No, but.
Or you go out, it's like, I'm going to create a Twitter account, tell people how Ron Zach was.
But even if I did, I feel like it would all be a work between you and I that, hey, let's get a little bit more popularity. Let's do something different. Like, I'm going to do this. But like, I feel like they both knew that anyway. Like, guys, now we're debating about two wrestling journalists and whether their argument is real. Because they're making it seem like it's real.
Yeah.
Folks, it's not. It's wrestling. Stop. They both know. It's about creating some buzz around it. And have they done that? Yes. Tell me what you thought of the spot throwing Ospreay into the crowd and the popcorn vendor throws away the popcorn real quick to catch Will Ospreay.
Yeah. Such a visual. Not something you see in pro wrestling.
It was so Arena Mexico-ish.
Yes.
To me.
So good. It's one of the things that, as you mentioned, makes it stand out. It makes it different. What do I preach every time we talk about AEW when they do stuff? Like, try and do things to make yourself different from the number one in WWE. What's the thing that you can do that WWE can't do? And I cannot recall a time where Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes are having a fight and Cody Rhodes being launched and the guy has the popcorn. He throws the popcorn away to catch the guy.
It was so good.
So good.
And then just the chemistry that these guys have is nuts. Again, that pile driver is so good. And when he just comes out of nowhere. But they got all the moves in the Styles Clash and a whole bunch of stuff. But the finish was fantastic to me. It was clear Ospreay is showing that he's going to do what it takes, right? The elbow strikes, the wrapping the barbed wire around, like hitting him with the hidden blade into the barbed wire, into his head. It was a perfect way to end this. And then it ends, and it's the music, and he's kind of bowing down to the crowd, and people are so into this.
Yeah.
Like, it just had all the elements of, I don't know that you could have a better main event on TV to set up. Like, it's not him and Omega, him and MJF, but it's him against a former partner showing what he's going to do to make sure that he goes on to win the title, and he's willing to do anything. And an incredible match. I just thought that this was booked perfectly for a main event end. And I didn't care. The show ended up being
2.5 hours.
No, it was longer than that. I think it was 250.
Even longer. Yeah, it was because Excalibur was going on commentary talking about this is 2.5 hours. Don't go anywhere. We got our minute 59 break. He kept pointing that out on the commentary too. And
So I think it was like 252 or something like that.
Yeah.
I could care less. Like I heard those guys too. Dave and Brian, like it's just so long of a show. Didn't feel like it.
I don't know. I felt the quality helped to overcome that. I've been complaining about the length of the shows recently. The thing is, if you're giving me a lot of great stuff, and this is what I said in the Revolution review as well, it was a 5-hour show.
Redemption.
Yeah, or sorry, Redemption. I always get those two mixed up. You gotta give it a different name. So the 5-hour Redemption show, I wouldn't have mind if I had gotten, more match of the year quality stuff, but I got a lot of good. I got a lot of really good, but if you're going to give me 5 hours, you got to give me more than that, right?
Yeah, it's got to be great.
It's got to be great, and where it's like, man, this was so well worth my time.
This is a great television show that was 2 hours and 53 minutes. We got a 5-hour pay-per-view that was good, but not great.
Yeah.
So that's the difference.
Yep, absolutely. And I'm also kind of like, I've noticed a lot of wrestling reviewers have been complaining more about the lengths too, but I feel like they're complaining about it more from as part of my job. I have to sit there for 3 or 4 hours and talk about everything when there's all these different things that I have to cover as well. And I'm sorry, like, I don't think people really care about the tribulations of your job in that case. You know what I mean? Like, you get to sit there and watch pro wrestling and talk about it. Not a lot of people are able to do that as a full-time gig. So I will only really complain about length on the shows if I felt like it wasn't just justified in terms of what you got on the show. In this case, while it was a longer television show than we usually get, it was just so filled with quality that it felt like it was well worth my time. So that's how I kind of view that stuff.
Well, I guess I look at it too. Like, didn't SmackDown used to be 3 hours every week?
Yep.
Okay. So how about this? In the year 2025, I'm just trying to look up some. Since moving to Netflix, Monday Night Raw has averaged 2 hours and 30 minutes in the year 2025. I don't recall a Monday Night Raw show being half as good as what I saw on Wednesday night. So come on. It's 252 instead of, because we tell you it's 2 hours. And this one was booked to be 2.5.
Yep.
This one was booked to be that, and they did do a 20-minute overrun. But I don't know. Anything under 3 hours, if you're giving me great, I'm there for.
I'm in.
Like SmackDown used to do 3 hours all the time, and it was painful. But it wasn't painful because it was 3 hours. It was painful because of what you were giving us in that 3 hours.
Right.
That's what was painful.
I'm going to harbor on this, but like with that second night of SummerSlam, well, it was a shorter PLE/pay-per-view than Redemption. There was that 3-match stretch where I felt like I was getting tortured and that was about an hour and a half dedicated to that.
Yeah.
And I would not want to go through that again for an hour and a half. I'd much rather this, where I'm getting so much quality over the next 2.5, 3 hours. So
yeah, I don't know that they can do almost 3-hour shows every week and give us the same quality that they gave us on Wednesday.
Yeah, but as a one-off, totally
that's what I mean.
okay with it.
Like,
yeah,
it's just comparing apples to oranges. It's literally like going, I don't know, like going grocery shopping at, I don't want to be smudge, like no frills.
Yeah.
For 3 hours, or going to the greatest grocery store of all time for 3 hours.
Right.
Or like, I shouldn't be putting Costco on that level, but like with all the things that you can eat at Costco and all the samples and going in to buy other things that aren't just food and trying on clothes and then going to the snack bar after and getting $1.50 hot dog. Like, it's not the same time. You spend a couple hours in Costco, you spend a couple hours in No Frills, they're not going to feel the same.
Yeah, they're going to be totally different experiences.
That's what this feels like.
Yep.
To me. Don't give me that it's too long, because all wrestling shows, if they go 252, are too long on TV. 5 hours is too long. Even when you're getting great, and we didn't get great. We got good.
Especially on a Sunday night and you're bleeding into a work day on the Monday.
Yeah.
Like, that's just a lengthy show.
And so on the East Coast, this show was done at 10:50. I feel like that's not crazy if you're wrapped up before 11. Apparently 11 o'clock's the cutoff. Zach was like, I got to get out of here. Paradise City, forget about it. Like,
I was able to hear Paradise City. It's not like I left and I couldn't hear it.
It's 11 o'clock. It's too late. Apparently 11 is the cutoff.
Had to get to the train, Lee. Despite us getting in through the wrong gate.
This show, the opening match was fantastic because of how much people cared. The number one spot in the gauntlet match was good, but then MJF came out and made it great. Fletcher and Bailey was unbelievable. The outpouring of emotion and singing along with Mystico and Jericho and Darby, who's become, a folk hero, was fantastic. Hangman coming out with Brodito and the way that they did in Mexico with the string guitars and the entrance and by the way, if they sell those sombreros, they're going to make $1 gazillion.
Yes.
Because I saw them. I'm like, I want a sombrero. Or not a sombrero. Sorry. Yes, the sombreros were good. Oh my God. What do they call the pullovers that people wear in
ponchos?
The ponchos.
Yeah.
I think is it called something else, or is it called poncho? Like in the Mexican terms of it. I feel like maybe it's just a poncho.
I think it's poncho.
Okay. Well, I want a poncho. They could sell those ponchos for $1 million. When they came out in those ponchos, I'm like, I have to have one of those.
Yeah.
Immediately. So I thought that whole, and them getting the pop of winning the belts, right?
Yep.
It's not the greatest match ever, but they gave you a moment.
Yep.
That's what I loved about this show. 2 matches, Fletcher and Bailey and Ospreay and Davis, were absolutely incredible matches. And for the rest of the card, you got a lot of moments. As good of a TV show as I've seen in a very, very long time. To the point where I worry about what they're going to do from now until All In to keep the momentum going.
Right.
Because it was so good. Conspicuous by his absence was Kenny Omega, though.
Yes. He was advertised, but then they removed him.
Yeah.
So that was interesting.
I wanted him to be there. I thought he was still going to come out at the end of the show.
Yes.
But he did not. Anyway, I loved this show. It was just so good. And that's to give, we talked about it during that, but Kevin Owens being the number one contender and coming out and facing CM Punk and sort of getting in his face and talking about, like, both of them talking to each other a little disrespectfully. And like, I'm here for it, for sure. I think you said it earlier. One of the more interesting things that they could do for me as a fan in a long time.
Yeah.
Even the Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens behind the scenes stuff.
Yep.
Like acknowledging that they kind of screwed each other, but Sammy's not going away. Like, I'm invested. I guess I just love those guys. So I'm invested in those guys. But what's to come, Zach? What's to come?
We shall see.
Probably going to do it for us, eh?
Yeah, that was a bit of a lengthy show, but it was good. A lot covered there. Got a lot of bases covered on this show.
We, as you said, Maple Leaf Pro. Is it not out already?
I had it confused with the other thing we recorded recently.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So yes, the Maple Leaf Pro is out. So
you're like, oh, I'm going to release this soon. I'm like, I thought I just saw it.
Lee, there's so much content coming out from
I know.
This Is Wrestling that even I'm losing track.
What a problem to have. We're losing track of our own content.
Yes, it's unbelievable.
I love that. Yeah, this would be a little bit of a tease for people, but also stay with us. We are producing a bunch of content. We hadn't done a review of some of the other things that were going on in a bit, but be a little patient with us. If I am taken off, who knows? Some of those episodes will come out a little bit later. Keep it going.
Yep.
When I'm not here for a bit. So Dark Side of the Ring. We did the review on Jeff Jarrett and TNA, but there's a bunch of reviews to come, including the Big Boss Man, Ray Traylor, including the Renegade, Rick Wilson. Those episodes have been out, and I'm sure still to come here in the next couple of days. Necro, Butcher, and Samoa Joe will be out.
Yep.
I can tell you that we have recorded that.
Yep.
And that will be out for your consumption, fairly soon. And we'll spread out some of the Dark Side of the Rings to be able to get past some of the time. But we still look forward. Like Fighting Back is coming up on August the 15th. And we got Dalton Castle versus Von Vertigo.
Yeah, Dalton Castle getting on the show too.
Eddie Kingston in a 6-man tag with Ortiz going to be on the show. Remind me of her name again.
The former Zoe Stark. I think her name is Zoe Serrano.
Zoe Serrano. Thank you. Joe Gacy.
Yep.
Going to be there as well. So a big show for C4 Fighting Back on August the 15th. And then the last week of August is great because here in Ottawa, both Monday Night Raw and SmackDown. SmackDown going to be taped for the following Friday. And by the way, Kevin Owens is taking his shot at CM Punk in the #1 contender spot in Toronto coming up on August the 21st, SmackDown. So the fallout from that and everything that will happen on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown for the following week will happen in Ottawa on the 24th. That'll be really interesting to me how they navigate Kevin Owens getting his world title shot against CM Punk in Toronto. On August 21st. Yeah. And then, of course, All In coming up on August the 30th. Daytime. So I was told it starts at noon. Is that correct?
The All In show?
I thought it started at 2, but I was corrected by people who
would know.
Well, at least pretend very well to know. That show is now a noon start with an 11 o'clock 0 hour.
I'm seeing a global start time, Eastern time of 11:30 a.m. I guess that would be the pre-show. So it might be a noon start time, yeah. I'm trying to get something more definitive because all I'm getting is UK time, and I am not good with time zone differences.
5 hours.
Okay, so they say it's 4:30 UK time, so that would be 11:30.
Yeah.
So,
but 4:30 UK time for what?
Start of All In. That's why I'm trying to figure out if it's pre-show or if it's
like is it like what, an hour and a half pre-show and then like maybe a 1 o'clock start? Anyway, it's going to be earlier on in the day.
Yes,
which is going to be fantastic. Love that.
Me too.
Especially as I try to fit myself back into a Red Blacks pre and post game show when they're 2-8 and I'm not wanted on This Is OSN.
Right. Lee, this one you could go on timeout for.
You know what? I don't want to say I'm okay with it because I love doing the football.
Yes.
And I'm going to miss 2 weeks of it. But if they're 2-8, you guys want to hold me out and I get to like really kind of go hard and have some more drinks at All In during the day while I'm at the pool and the hot tub and the wrestling
Right.
and enjoying myself outside, and you guys don't want me a part of the show? You know what? Twist my arm, guys. Let's go Red Blacks 3-8. Like, you know what? You're going to start a whole new thing where I'm never going to be on the show again as long as they win. And they're going to go on like an 8-game win streak to get back to 8-8.
That would be something.
Yeah, you thought you were busy before, Zach, when September hits. I can't wait. Like even the NFL and the Hall of Fame games on, and it's like I don't even know any of these players, but the quarterback I don't know is scrambling and there's 0 seconds and he gets in, touchdown for Carolina. I'm like, yay.
How can you not know Georgia Tech's Haynes King?
Right.
Keeping it himself for the score.
Good for him.
Yeah. Undrafted.
It's just another time, Zach, where the NFL starts. We'll overhype the Cowboys, and I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Like I was reading today, is Caleb Downs going to be the defensive rookie of the year? I'm like, it's all good.
Yeah, we're back, baby. We're back.
Like, I don't know. Like, I haven't even seen him tackle yet because there's almost no tackling in OTAs and training camp yet. Like, come on.
You know how I know we're already back in the NFL season is that I'm back to watching Hard Knocks again. I watched the first episode with the Seahawks, and
so I've watched a few clips. Mike McDonald's a rock star,
which is funny because he's not the greatest speaker.
I know,
but there's something about him where I'm like, you can really connect with him.
He's just awesome.
Yeah,
just the way that he talks to guys and sort of gives some real life examples. He relates to the players. Like, I hard not to like that guy.
Yeah, it's so different from all the previous Hard Knocks. Like, of course, I think of Rex Ryan and now let's go eat a goddamn snack. Like that's famous quotes, or John Gruden a few years ago. There's you know, where I don't want dreams anymore. I want bleeping nightmares on my team and blah, blah, blah. Like, and it's so different from seeing those sort of guys and now seeing Mike McDonald to just being like,
yeah,
guys, let's get, let's lock in here, folks. We got this.
He's just,
but there's a charm about it that I can't explain. Like if I were to say, like, if I were to try to describe it, they'd be like, oh, this seems like a guy that doesn't have the greatest leadership, but no, you could buy in. It's weird.
Oh, I watch that guy. I'm like, I totally know why the players buy into this guy.
Yeah.
It comes across very genuine. He's not the most rah guy ever for sure, but man, he relates to the players so well.
Yeah.
So you're right. Watching that a little bit. It's just a time, Zach, what I call like a precursor to another embarrassment. That's what, do you know what I'm talking about? If I do a precursor to another embarrassment?
I don't know the specific reference. I thought you were making a funny joke.
Oh yeah, I am. It's not a joke though. It's a precursor to another embarrassment of my OSN staff that are going to lose to me in another fantasy pool, and it's ridiculous. Like,
unbelievable.
It's getting ridiculous. It's getting unbelievable. Like, you said it right. I appreciate it. I'm doing everything I can, folks, to try to empower people here at OSN, to try to make them look good. Going out of my way to try to do it. It's sometimes you just don't have the horses to do it though, right? Like, you're hardly trying and you're still overwhelming people with your brilliance.
I guess I'll have to start getting that set up to the OSN fantasy football draft and get that organized.
We'll have our own OSN draft, and then we'll have the other thing that we'll workshop. But I do think it's a lot of fun to do. It's like the weekly confidence pool.
And
for those, if you like to do stuff different, like, hey, I'm in a survivor pool. Like, we know what a survivor pool is, and it's fun and all. It's not overly complicated, but the confidence pool I really, really enjoy, because the confidence pool is basically, okay, week 1 comes, you got your games 1 to 16. The concept's easy. You got to rank them from 1 to 16 as far as your confidence level in who is going to win. So the game that you are most confident about the team winning, you put a 16 beside it. And second most confident, 15. Down to the one you're least sure about, that you put a 1 beside. But at the end, if you win that game, that's how many points you get. But remember, if you lose that game, that's how many points are subtracted from your score. So you're very confident about 5 games, and it's 16 plus 15 plus 14 plus 13 plus 12. All of a sudden, you've got yourself, 70 points. You get all those right, looking good. You get a couple of those wrong, disaster. There's been weeks where there's been upsets where, like, the highest score has been 0 and the lowest score has been well into the minuses. But you keep track all year long of your score. It's a total accumulation of your score. So, yeah, you can have a good week. And sometimes, like, if you do the pool properly, there's small prizes for winning a week. Get some of your money back. But this is a marathon. It's not a sprint, Zach.
That's right.
So to be able to do that is fun. There's just, I'm really worried about winning the fantasy pool and the survivor pool and the confidence pool. And, like, you talk about confidence and the rest of the group not having any. Like, I'm super worried about that.
I'm feeling all right. I'm feeling pretty good heading into the fantasy draft.
Sure.
And
we've had 2 fantasy pools so far. How many wins you got?
I have 0 wins.
Right. So it's great that you have tons of confidence after the nil, nada, 0 spot that you have.
Yes.
The Sam Mitchell. But like others, Zach, you're not the only one. Okay. Everyone else here at OSN's got the Sam Mitchell as well.
0, 0, 0, 0.
It's one of the great.
I mean,
I told him, quit.
You don't want to play here, quit.
Don't worry, I told him. I mean, I don't want you guys to quit, but I do need somebody to get off the schneid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not the Sam Mitchell quote, but it's the cannot win with him, cannot coach with him, cannot play with him, can't do it.
Can't do it. Like Singletary, who then got fired and then never came back to coaching.
Nope. Vernon Davis did turn around his career after that, though.
Yep. So, I mean, between the NHL and, my specialty in soccer, dominating people has just become the norm on the reg, as I like to call it, the regular on the reg.
Look, it was going to be pretty hard to lose that one when the second pick was Scotland in that fantasy soccer thing.
Hey, Mac, did I have first pick?
You did not have first pick.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Like, if we want to go there, if we want to talk about our draft selections, all I'm going to say is that all the teams except for one that I could have drafted were already selected. And when they went to I was going to call it the Final Four, but that's the NCAA, but you know what I mean? Like,
yep.
all the I think I was like 8th or something, and all the teams of that went into the final 8 were already selected by the time I had chosen. And I did not want to pick England because I did not think England was bringing football home once again, so football's coming home. I like singing the song, but it never comes home.
This is incredible storytelling on your part. It sounds like you lost, though. That's what I'm getting.
No, I did lose, but
there's no but.
I did lose, but I'm just saying, it's like it's tough to win when all the people that went to the final 8 were already selected by the time it got to me. So,
Zach, that can't be possible that the final 8 all were selected by the time.
Other than England, I could have selected England, but
well,
other
who
than
did
that,
you select?
I picked Germany because Germany usually does well in these things. So of course they decide to have their worst year.
Okay,
in the World
you
Cup.
did have a pick early. You just screwed it up.
Yes.
Okay. Again, and the rest of the story.
This is Germany. That was like, oh, Germany, they always do well. These are like, I guess Germany's going to do well in this. And sure enough, oh no, they didn't do so well in this.
I understand, but that's the difference between knowing and not knowing.
Far be it for Germany to fail on the world stage, but nonetheless.
Oh boy. I just want someone to pick it up. That's all. Okay. Just trying to.
I feel good. Like
motivate some people. Yeah.
Like the hockey one was definitely disappointing. Soccer, I'm like, well, I'm out on a wasteland here, but football, I think will be better.
I can tell you that going into our OSN fantasy football as like the double champion, the guy who just wins everything that we've had so far, I'm most worried about you. How about that?
Really?
Taking my spot. Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
I don't like let's be honest. I don't even know why I brought some of these people on. Just a bunch of chumps. But I'm not worried about like it's actually good for the pools because I'm never losing to those people. You know what I mean? But you provide a little bit of a challenge. So
I'm fired up. I'm ready to go. I can't wait.
That's how I would. Well, there's going to be some other football people.
Yes. I'm sure we're going to get Steve McKenzie on there. I know he's a football guy. And
yeah, he's a football. Yeah. I mean,
he's a Bears guy.
He's a Bears guy. But like, we're going to get, James Duke Ellingson's probably going to be a part of it.
Yeah.
He's a big football guy.
Yeah.
Will we have some former Red Blacks, possibly?
That could be fun.
Yeah. So I need to challenge myself. Have I put myself over? Is it game over? Is it game over yet?
You're damn right I'm over.
Damn right I'm over. Okay. Nice 5-minute promo there to
end the show.
To end the show.
They love that. They love when you put yourself over. But he also hates Hulk Hogan. I mean, it's quite the dichotomy.
Oh boy. As they say, we're punchy now. I'm punchy. I know that. But we will have some Dark Side of the Rings coming out for wrestling. We'll continue with the Unreal series as well. Our weekly Maple Leaf Pro will be out. Kind of our weekly shows will be out. You won't miss a thing, even if I am gone for a little bit, and then we'll figure it out. But this has been fun, Zach. Thank you.
Yeah, no, this has been great. This has been a lot of recording. I'm glad we were able to get this done and more along the way for this weekend. So I'm looking forward to it.
My question to all of those listening live is Zach going to cut this up and make them 2 different shows in post-production?
I'm going to answer that for you right off the top. Yes.
Just because we did like an hour on music and never got to anything other than storytelling and concerts. And
that part might be a YouTube exclusive. We'll see. Although I did talk about the Guns N' Roses thing on the wrestling podcast, so maybe I'm definitely splitting it up.
Okay.
Yes.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So thanks for staying with us. And like I said, lots of coverage still to come. Coming out at the beginning of this week, and then we'll go from there. So for Zach McGibbon, I'm Lever Sage. Thanks for being with us on a dual This Is Wrestling, This Is OSN live stream here on OSN.